It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/sendusin.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Mostly cloudy skies for this afternoon. More sunshine as we head through the latter part of the day. 61 for the high this afternoon. 51 overnight tonight under mostly cloudy skies. Some fog tomorrow morning, but then becoming partly cloudy in the afternoon with a high of 71. Almost a record high.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 9 points to 43,818.
Young spun away from Parsons, dives across the 15, lost the ball at the end of the play. It's a fumble. Young throws over the middle. That ball is tipped and picked by Kendricks, the linebacker. Young to throw in the pocket. Fumble. And taken down. The ball comes out. Young throws deep down the seam. He wants Coker. It's intercepted by Mukwamu. He'll run it back across the 20 and down at the 24-yard line. The fourth turnover by the Panthers today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Panthers, yikes. 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 I'm just going to start it with this. I feel like I'm the calm down guy on both sides now. It's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it seems with the Panthers this year. That game, I can see why you might be panicking if you watched it. Or maybe even more so if you just got like in-game breaks, like somebody else were just telling you what was going on in that game, because it would feel like every 10 minutes, another turnover. Yep, Cowboys scored again. Another turnover. Panthers were due for a clunker. I'm not panicking. Now, it was a clunker, right? Call a spade a spade. A stinker is a stinker. You don't have to pretend like it was anything other. But progress in rebuilding a basement NFL franchise, NFL roster, NFL team, it usually is 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It usually is a series of steps forward and setbacks. And then eventually, right, you drop in the right quarterback, or eventually you draft or trade for the dynamic wide receiver, and then everyone goes, look at that guy changed everything. But you don't realize over the last 5 years you've been making small steps forward and fighting against adversity, and that guy gets all the credit. Progress is not just all up, all forward, even though it did feel that way for the Panthers for like a month. Even though there was a lot to it was getting better, then this happens. Sunday was one big step back, a leap, if you will. But as long as you have more steps forward than steps back, you're doing fine. And in a weird way, the steps back can help you with your next step forward. This is a hypothesis, right? We'll never know what's happening between the ears of the players, but maybe they drank some of their own Kool-Aid, right? Maybe they believed some of their own hype. They read some of their own highlights. Maybe after every game they checked their Twitter and people were yelling at them for such a long time that it felt pretty good to check their Twitter over the last couple of weeks and have people hyping them up. So they refreshed often, and they checked back in often, and they searched their name often. It was the first time in years the Panthers had been a favored team in an NFL football game.
2022 against Pittsburgh.
They were the betting favorite. First time in years they had hype. Maybe that felt good. And coaches will tell you, we'll use a Triangle head football coach, UNC head football coach Bill Belichick, his buddy Nick Saban, it's rat poison. It's rat poison. So if you're believing your own hype and then you get smacked in the face by a team like the Cowboys, who you might say aren't a good NFL football team this year, but the most important part is they are an NFL football team. If you show up, right, smelling what you're stepping in and loving it, they will beat you. They will stick with you. They will be able to find CeeDee Lamb. And they will have 10 plays drawn up just to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb, to where if you aren't paying attention, he'll have a huge game, and he did. Now, the lesson is, don't do that. The lesson is, for the coaching staff, how do you sense that your team is doing that and make sure that it doesn't happen again? Right? The question is, there is a fine line between letting the players sink or swim on their own and understanding when they need help. Dave Canales, after the game, was asked why the offense was so inconsistent.
I got to look at the film, but I think, just from a glance, there was a missed block here or there. There was just some execution stuff, that happened, and then at a certain point, we got to go. We got to start throwing it and try to be more aggressive with it. And they were able to come up with some really good rushes on us and put us in some pretty bad situations, some second and longs. Certainly the penalties too. That was another thing that kind of showed up that really put us into some difficult spots as well. So a lot of stuff we got to clean up.
I liked the idea on Friday of letting guys test themselves against some of the best players on the Cowboys. I like the idea of not every single time Micah Parsons was lined up over Ike Ekwonu, giving him a bunch of help, right? I like the idea of 5 times throughout the day putting Ike Ekwonu and Micah Parsons on an island and saying, you don't get a running back chip. You don't get a tight end. You might be up against the best defensive player in the league. Show me why we drafted you in the top 10. But there is a fine line between that and looking around going, okay, we need to get him some help. Bryce Young was asked after the game what led to so many sacks, and there were a whole bunch of them, and pressures even when there weren't sacks. Here's Bryce's answer.
Yeah, credit to them. That's a really good unit over there. Obviously, really good players. So, they deserve their credit. But stuff I can do better as well. We're just getting the ball out quicker, protection, sliding protections, whatever it may be. It's not just the line. And also, when we're in those situations, when, pass rushers know we got to pass the ball, it's tough on those guys, again, against a really, really good unit. So it's all of us. Again, there's stuff I could have done better. We'll watch the tape and grow from it.
Let's talk about how this game became, what we've affectionately called the replacements quicksand game, where it feels like the more you struggle, the worse and worse it gets, right? Because the way I look at it is everything Bryce Young said there is correct. You get behind, now a good pass rush gets to pin their ears back. Your offensive line doesn't have as much of the element of surprise. All right, well, how did you get behind? The defense let CeeDee Lamb carve them up on the touchdown drive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, CeeDee Lamb is very good, but call me crazy. Nobody else really on the Dallas offense scares me very much. If you got to put an extra safety over the top of CeeDee Lamb to make sure an underthrown ball gets broken up, I think you do that. If you need to put an extra body out there to make sure his run after the catch isn't bananas, I think you do that. Make someone else beat you. And then the interception follows the next drive. They get a field goal out of it. Now you're down 10. And, oh, look, now Micah Parsons doesn't have to worry as much about the run. Now you're abandoning Chuba Hubbard, and that defense gets after you. Now the lead grows, and on and on. It's one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another.
I think Chuba Hubbard on the first drive had 4 carries and only 6 more after that.
And it didn't feel like – there have been times where I'm like, why aren't they getting the ball to Chuba? Mm-hmm. It did feel like more in this one, it was like, well, they can't really depend on the run because there's ground to make up, even though we've said it in the past. The Panthers, even when behind, need to continue trusting the run. It just wasn't as obvious kind of in my gut watching the game this time. There's the fumble, there's the interception, there's the obvious touchdown where Cooper Rush catches a rhythm because you're not guarding his number 1 wide receiver enough, and it just spirals out of control, right? So the lesson learned is you take care of your P's and Q's early in the game, you don't end up in that spiral. 2 hands on the ball in the pocket, you don't end up in that spiral, right? You don't take as many chances on defense. You guard their number 1, you don't end up in that spiral. So the question is, and we're going to talk about Bryce individually, but I think this applies to quarterbacks. I think this applies to teams. There is a certain base level of talent you need. Okay, if you don't have the certain base level, other NFL teams will just beat you. Right? They'll find the weak spot and they will just keep tugging on that weak spot until it's done. There's also this other thing that you need, right? Aside from the base level of talent, maybe the most important thing in NFL football for quarterbacks and teams as a whole is your ability to respond to situations like this. You can go back, most Super Bowl teams, there's like one really weird stinker on their season, right? I feel like every year in the first month of the season, the Patriots would get smacked by the Chiefs with like Alex Smith, or they'd get blown out by Andrew Luck and the Colts, or something crazy like that. And everybody would sound the alarms, and then they'd reel off like 15 of the next 17 and win a Super Bowl.
There was a game earlier this year, Josh Allen completed 30% of his passes.
And he's
probably going to be the MVP.
There's a conversation.
Yeah.
But they were very good yesterday. But it's you just look at it and it's, okay, now how do you respond?
Mm-hmm.
And it can't be, if you're Bryce, they can't have to bench you for a month so you can re-get your gears going. If you're the Panthers, you can't need a quarterback change in order to switch the vibe. It has to be you can play a clunker because you're not the most talented team in the league, and you can't expect to fly through every game at the top of your abilities. You have to be able to play a stinker and have it be a good thing. Or not actually, but treat it like it could be a good thing because you're going to bounce back with a vengeance unknown to mankind. That's what the question is now. I'm not sounding any alarms. I am sounding some, boy, I wish we could have. And now you go do what you could have done last week, this upcoming week, and we'll all be all right. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You want some boy, I wish I could have. There's a whole bunch of people out there. Boy, I wish I could have. Got a no closing cost loan from Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here from Miller Lending. And the reason why you say that is if you lock in a rate when it's at the top of the market because you're terrified of rates going up and up and up and up, and you buy down that rate so your monthly payment isn't gargantuan, and then rates drop, you're going, boy, I wish I could have known that. With Miller Lending, lock in the rate with no closing costs, and if rates drop, It's not boy, I wish I coulda. It's boy, I'm thankful I did, because no closing cost loan means no money out of your pocket. Absolutely none. Zero means zero. No third-party fees. No closing costs. And if rates drop, do it again, right? Refinance. No money out of your pocket. If they drop again, refinance. No money out of your pocket. I'm trying to help you out with some boy, I'm so thankful I dids. And if you say that 3 or 4 times over the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, think of all the money you'll save. If it just happens once, think about all the money you'll save. Give them a call to hear and learn more about a no closing cost loan. 919-447-3377. If you locked in one of those loans at the top of the market, you definitely want to give them a call. 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Bill Belichick, college football coach. He actually did college football things this weekend. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? Next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Drive-through car washes are quick, but a mobile detailer gets to the nitty-gritty. AutoBell Car Wash is the sweet spot between both. We quickly clean your car from the inside out to save you time. Get the app at autobell.com.
John Heister is playing Santa with the Wrap Up the Year sales event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Now is the time to wrap up a big, beautiful present for yourself for 20% off. Ho, ho, ho! Put yourself in the driver's seat of any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for 20% off right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. See dealer for all the details. You've been good this year, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Think Santa's got a mixed bag of treats? Soundstation and Security may have him beat. Soundstation and Security has a huge variety of gift ideas for everything audio and automotive. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires. We even offer full vehicle service, alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. These are great unique gift ideas. Plus, Soundstation and Security has a variety of financing options. Downtown Smithfield or on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. And online at myhotsound.com.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Health Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? This holiday season, give yourself the gift of sleep. At Parkway Sleep Health Centers, we've treated sleep disorders for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. From all of us at Parkway Sleep, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. It's Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. Get 50% off all styles of windows and a bonus 10% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Sale ends December 31st, so book a quote at 866-90NATION or at windownation.com.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we talk Belichick's first weekend as the head coach of the UNC Tar Heels, there's a few things you need to be aware of. We have Canesmas coming up where we are giving away some free stuff. It's presented by Hardee's, and we are celebrating our connection with our hometown hockey team. Some really, really cool prizes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There are a handful of times throughout the year where I get very upset that we are not eligible to win.
Yep.
This is one of them for sure. Also, we have Monday Soundoff coming up later this hour, so keep your dialing fingers ready and start getting your opinions and takes ready for whatever you want to talk about. We open up the phone lines on Mondays. We let you react to whatever you want to react to. So those are coming up in this hour. Keep your phones ready. Right now, Bill Belichick. Do you know how crazy it is that Bill Belichick was hired at UNC within the last week?
Yeah.
It feels like it happened a month ago already because there's been a million pieces written about it, a million podcasts recorded about it. We've done a bunch of shows about it. But it was his first weekend this past weekend as coach of UNC. And he was at the UNC basketball game with a 4-star in-state quarterback recruit. I think that puts some worries to rest. One of the biggest concerns about Bill Belichick taking over a college program was is Bill really interested in sitting around with 17-year-olds and selling the program? Is he really going to do that when in the pros you basically just talk to agents on the phone and slide numbers across the table? Is he really going to want to do the recruiting thing? I think after the first weekend, the answer is yes. Right? He had the intro presser that night on the phone with Bryce Baker, right? The top quarterback recruit committed to UNC at any point in time in this recruiting cycle. Then his first weekend, he walks out and gives a speech at a basketball game, which, by the way, it was not UNC Duke. It was UNC LaSalle, and it was a blowout. And if you had tickets to every game within the Dean Dome, like now Bill Belichick has, probably not the number one you circle, but he showed up because that's what you do on a college campus. He brought a 4-star recruit. He brought the 4-star recruit out onto the floor at the end of his speech. That's all very good for UNC. It's also the first surprise. I assume Belichick was going full portal. I assume he was going true factory. Like, you go make yourself into a pro prospect elsewhere, and then with 1 or 2 years of eligibility, you transfer to me. I'll put the polish on you. We'll hopefully win some games. Then you'll go be a higher draft pick. Focusing some of his first days and biggest recruiting efforts on a guy who's a freshman or in high school, that's a completely different beast. He is bringing a pro-style idea to a college football program, and it looks like he's remembering it's a college football program. I think that puts some things to rest. Belichick was on with McAfee, Pat McAfee show, their buddies, and he talked about the transfer portal and recruiting having a similar feeling to something he's done in the past.
Dealing with the player, the agent, and maybe another person, because not all players have agents. So it's been an interesting process, but it's very similar. Mike Lombardi and I were just talking about it. It's very similar to what we went through with the post-draft process and right at the beginning of the free agent process, all combined into one with the transfer portal. And then you still have a little bit of, some leftover players from high school that are uncommitted or, that are maybe weren't recruited, but for some reason now their name has surfaced and they're in it.
For some reason, their name has surfaced. Is he saying like, hey, you know what? They actually called UNC once they found out I was here. For some reason, their name has surfaced. For some reason.
It also could be a player that was committed to a school and that coach got fired or left, and it's like, well, you decommitted, and now you're just trying to figure it out.
Or the reverse, right? If you are somewhere and suddenly your school is entertaining a transfer from somewhere else at your position, and then you're like, you know what? Apparently you don't value me as much as I do, so now I'm out, which is the trickle-down effect. You see it with coaches all the time, right? Like a coach, it's the trickle up. Right, group of 5 gets a low-level power 5. Power 5 goes up to a high-level blue blood, wherever they go. It's the same true elsewhere, right? You bring in somebody from the transfer portal, that player has to go somewhere whose place is being taken, and that player has to go somewhere. So it's not always right at the beginning of the portal do you know everything. And the fact that Bill Belichick is aware of that, right? That there's some of the concerns. He wouldn't be down to do the whole recruiting thing because he's above it because he's Bill Belichick. Doesn't appear to be the case. He's bringing in a GM, Michael Lombardi, and a front office, and they're going to handle all of that, and he's going to be removed and just be coaching. Obviously not true. He's aware of the names that are popping up and popping out of the portal in a bunch of different ways. I think the best example or the best result from the first weekend of Bill Belichick as the coach of UNC is if I'm a UNC fan, I like that he wants to have his fingerprints all over everything. Right? You don't bring in Bill Belichick because he has famous friends. You like that he has famous friends, but you bring in Bill Belichick for the wealth of knowledge and the draw and allure that working with Bill Belichick brings. And in his opening presser, when they asked him, are you willing to go into recruits' living rooms? And he was like, well, the rules limit that, but if it helps, sure. I think there was a lot of people going, really? Well, when you sit there in your hoodie at a basketball game chatting with a high schooler, actions speak louder than words. That tells me you're willing to do that sort of thing. Now, are there still recruits out there that are going to go talk with Bill Belichick and watch a basketball game, and then their question before they leave will be, how much NIL money did you promise me again? Yes, there's still going to be that, but there's also going to be a bunch that, what's the Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks,
Catch Me If You
Can. Thank you. That would have really rattled around in my brain. Catch Me If You Can, right? Why does no one play well against the Yankees? They get caught staring at the pinstripes. There's going to be a lot of kids out there that don't know why they committed to UNC, but they did because they got caught looking at the Super Bowl rings. Like, you get caught with, Bill Belichick just called me? Bill Belichick just invited me to a basketball game. Bill Belichick wants to talk to me about my latest high school game. He's not above that sort of thing. He could be. If I'm trying to think of the best example here. If Phil Jackson took over a high school or a college basketball program, and one of his stipulations was like, I will coach them on campus, and I'm not going to talk to a 17-year-old who wants more NIL money, that would make sense. If he's like, I'll teach him the triangle, I'll tell him when to call timeouts, I'll manage the personalities on the team, but I'm not doing all the riffraff, that would make sense. Bill Belichick's not that, and I think that's a good sign for UNC. And he proved that pretty darn quick. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We talked about Canesmas. Well, guess what? We are celebrating our connection with our hometown hockey team during the holidays with 5 days of Canesmas. Starting today, we're going to do it twice a day, all week. Basically, this whole celebration is us giving away cool Canes-free stuff. Some of the things that we can give away, $50 gift card to the Eye, a mini Zamboni, Canes branded, 3-piece Canes grilling set, Canes backpack, which is dope. Just trust me on that one. That's a good adjective for those of you out there.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
And a Canes Turvis tumbler. We have multiple of all of those. We are going to randomly give one of those prizes to one of you. But you have to call in right now. We need caller number 9 on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Day 1 of Canesmas kicks off when we come back, presented by Hardee's, where their famous cinnamon raisin biscuits are back for a limited time and served all day, all season long. Unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. Canesmas, one of you is getting a cool prize. Coming up next. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. This holiday season, why not give a gift that truly shines? At Bailey's, we believe in making every moment special, and our carefully curated selection of fine jewelry is sure to bring joy to your loved ones. From stunning diamonds to designer jewelry and luxury watches, we have the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Gift the magic of a Bailey box and make this Christmas unforgettable. Visit us today in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Act fast for up to $7,500 off a 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 Denali right now at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Plus 5.9% financing for 84 months. Includes GM bonus cash and Wilkinson winter savings discount. Must qualify to receive rate and take delivery by January 2nd, 2025. See dealer for full details. GMC. We are professional grade. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling is celebrating 51 years of trusted service. And to celebrate, get a furnace tune-up for just $51. That's peace of mind heating for only $51. Visit MitchellHVAC.com. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. Quality products and services on time from a family you trust. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
She heard an ad for My Computer Career and jumped in feet first.
Taking exams and getting certified in a matter of just months.
Even better, you can work from anywhere.
Wherever you are. If you're on vacation, you can still clock in. I work out of my house in my pajamas.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them.
Launch a new high-demand career in IT or level up with more certifications. Build a career in record time with less money.
I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone. Indeed, it was the right move for me.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is day one of Canesmas. That's worth celebrating right there. Cane's Miss is brought to you by Hardee's, where their famous cinnamon raisin biscuits are back for a limited time and served all day, all season long. The way this is going to work, first of all, we do have a Monday Soundoff coming up. So keep your thoughts, keep your takes ready to roll. The way Cane's Miss is going to work is twice a day, every day this week. We have a Santa hat. For those of you watching on YouTube live stream, you can see and be our watch guard. We have a Santa hat with pieces of paper with our prizes written on them. Prizes like a $50 gift card to the Eye, that's the Cane's team store, 3-piece Cane's grilling set, Cane's backpack, Cane's Tervis tumbler, or a mini Zamboni, which I'm actually partial to. I think the mini Zamboni is kind of dope.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. Perfect for like a desk or a shelf.
So we have a caller on the line. What is their
Pat in Durham.
Pat in Durham. You are our very first 5 Days of Cane's Miss participant. Pat, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. So I have a Santa hat here with all the prizes inside. I'm going to mix them up with my hand. You can hear it mixing up. I don't know if you could actually hear that, but I did it towards the mic.
Close enough.
Okay.
If you can tell me when to stop, and I will grab a piece of paper, and that will be your prize.
Okay, go stop.
All right, let's see what you got. I see the word Cane's. Cane's backpack. That is, I'm not exaggerating. That is one of the ones I would want if I could choose.
It's a cool backpack.
It is a very cool
Awesome.
Cane's backpack.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Happy Cane's Miss to you.
Well, appreciate it, Mr. Santa Claus.
Hey, there you go. Santa Cane's, maybe? Huh? Anything? Nope.
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead and stay on the line.
By the way, congratulations to Brenda Moore for getting the North Carolina honor of
I don't want to missay it. Yep, something with leaves, but it was
leaf pine.
It was a seemed like a very big, very, very worthy honor. So you're right. Congratulations to Rod Brenda Moore for that, and as I said, congratulations to you for winning a Cane's backpack as part of Cane's Miss.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Awesome.
Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get to make sure you win your Cane's backpack. And again, if anyone wants to, be the watch guard, our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan, you can see me rifling around through the Santa hat, and you can see me pull it out and read it and everything else. The prizes are sweet, though. Let's just call a spade a spade. The prizes are sweet. Cane's Miss will happen again later in the show, so you have to stay tuned as we continue to celebrate the 5 days of Cane's Miss presented by Hardee's, celebrating our connection with our hometown hockey team during the holidays by giving you free stuff all week long. It is all presented by Hardee's. Again, the famous cinnamon raisin biscuits are back for a limited time, served all day, all season long.
So for a little disclosure here, one backpack is off the board.
We have, but there's at least
another
one more.
one.
Yeah, there's at least one more.
But when things get drawn, they come off the board. It's almost like drafting here.
There we go. I'll try to keep track of that so I can
Yeah.
let everybody know what's available. But hey, at least until the next backpack is gone, then all of them are still available. So for the next Cane's Miss drawing, which will come later today, there's still $50 gift card to the Eye. There's still mini Zamboni, 3-piece Cane's grilling set, Cane's backpack, and Cane's Tervis tumbler, all available. Still at least one of all of them, which is pretty darn cool. Right now, as we move out of Cane's Miss and we go towards Monday Soundoff, we will open up the phone lines for a different reason. We want your reactions to everything over the weekend. Could be Heisman, could be Panthers, could be Canes, could be one of the local college basketball teams, could be anything. The only thing you have to do is call into the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. If you call in now, you're a pretty good chance you'll get on the air during a Monday Soundoff. So 919-860-5326. Heister Automotive Group hotline for a Monday Soundoff. If you're all out on Bryce Young, we want to hear it. If you're all in on forgiving Bryce Young for a bunch of turnovers, we want to hear it as well. 919-860-5326. While we wait for your calls, should we fire up some Dean's List? Classes in session? There it is. Oh, quick bell. Get in, get to your seats. We got to get started. I have a few players here we want to put on the Dean's List, few college sports entities, which is what this is all about. We're just highlighting the good, the successful, maybe the under the radar Dean's List members, college athletes and coaches and newsmakers that have done something great. I'm going to start things off with Ben Middlebrooks. Now, NC State lost to Kansas men's basketball. Ben Middlebrooks is showing up in the big games. And he is a good reminder that ugly points count the same as pretty points. And what I mean by that is, free throws because you're being physical down low, rebounds and putbacks. Ben Middlebrooks has shown up this year when some of the other scorers have not, which I think is a massive feather in the cap of the returning contributor from last year's magical run for NC State. Another Dean's List member, Cade Tyson. Cade Tyson, I was wildly excited to see him out of the transfer portal at UNC this year because he shot 46% from three last season prior to the transfer. And part of the reason I was excited is because I think they needed that. They needed somebody with a little bit of size that could space the floor, get their slashers to the rim. And he hasn't really been given that opportunity very much. Hasn't played very much. Got an opportunity against LaSalle and went 5 of 10 from three, all in the corner, 23 points. May have earned himself a chance to be that spacer for the R.J. Davises, the Ian Jacksons, the Drake Powells, the Seth Trimbles of the world. If he can stand in the corner and just knock down threes, that's huge. And he had to do that in a game like LaSalle to even get a chance to be thought of in a bigger game later on in the ACC. We have callers on the line. We may come back to the Dean's List. We may not, depending on how many and how quality the callers are. I do expect them to be quality because they're our listeners. We'll start on the Heaster Automotive Group hotline, which is open for your calls, 919-860-5326. Open for your takes right now. We have Tom in Snow Hill. He's up first. This is a note that I am excited to see where it goes. It says you want to sound off on football. So, so Tom, what do you have for us? Go ahead and sound off.
All right. Well, I've seen a lot of the weekend games, and I've been seeing a lot of the games in the past few weekends. And I'm here to tell you, there are professional players out there that make more money than you and I will ever dream of, and they're not paying attention to the routes that they're supposed to be running. And I can't understand why there are so many incomplete passes to those who have played the game, know the routes, and know what they're supposed to do. But lately, they just look dumbfounded. It doesn't make any sense.
So I'm curious as to how you – so you're just saying like the quarterback throws it one way, the receiver breaks the other way, and it looks like they don't know what they're doing? How do you know that they don't know their routes?
Yeah, exactly what you just said. It's almost like they, and especially it's happening with teams that are like 500 and low. It's almost like they don't care anymore because they know they're not going to make the playoffs, and they figure that if they can play like this, that either the team will release them so that they can go. They're just going to sit out for the next year. I mean, it just the last 5 years in football, I have seen so many things that just doesn't make any sense anymore.
All right, I appreciate the call. I'll answer some of that, but we're going to let you go just to get more callers on the show. But my response is, first of all, the little bit of an old timer yelling at clouds, and I'm not saying old timer like age. I'm saying like longing for the previous days of football. One of the reasons I think you're seeing more of those miscommunications is more and more offenses, particularly in college, are relying on sight adjustments, which mean if you've beaten your guy, keep going deep. If you don't beat them, slam on the brakes, run a comeback, which means if they're one high, two high, depending on what the linebackers are doing, either stop or keep going. And sometimes there's like 50-50 decisions there, right? Sometimes it's, well, did I beat him? And of course, every wide receiver is like, I'm gonna run the go because I can beat this guy. And quarterbacks sometimes are gonna go, you're a step behind and throw the comeback. It's not always they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they made a different decision, and more of offenses are leaning on that. But I also don't want to discredit everything you said, because I do also think, especially in college, if you're like a former 5-star and you didn't make the college football playoff and you're not racking up stats, you may already be dreaming about the transfer portal like week 7. So there are some doing that, and I agree with you. It stinks. And the fact that every team other than Notre Dame in the college football playoff has at least one name in the portal already stinks. And we've now seen a backup quarterback for Ohio State, Aaron Nolan, backup quarterback for Penn State, who actually has a role on the team going into the, like on the field, there's packages for him to run the ball. They're going in the portal. It does kind of stink. That was Tom. Let's jump to Matt in Burlington and remind all of you that the Heister Automotive Group hotline is open, right? This is a Monday Sound Off on whatever you want to react to. 919-860-5326. You get to drive the conversation. Matt in Burlington, you are up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Go ahead and sound off. Matt in Burlington, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Yep, I got you. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, the Panthers, to me, I think they got a little high on themselves.
Yep.
After competing with all those good teams, and then they're like, we're favored against the Cowboys. They're down this year. We're just gonna, roll all over them. And to me, where they lost the game was in the trenches. The offensive line, even early in that game when we were trying to run the ball, there was nowhere for Chuba to run. And defensive line gets dominated, and Dowdle's running wild. And it was really surprising to me that we couldn't run the ball against Dallas, because Dallas, that's one of their weaknesses, is being able to stop the run. So that was my Panthers comment. And just wanted to make a quick comment about idiots that like to drop the football before they go across the goal line. I mean, like, we see this every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's like, you see college players doing it. You're seeing this is an all-pro running back, and he's making stupid decisions, and that completely changed the course of that game yesterday.
Matt, two great points. I'll address them both, but the Jonathan Taylor drop before he crossed the goal line, it's infuriating. So I appreciate you. Go ahead and call back in anytime. Addressing the Panthers side of things, I don't know if it's better or worse that the offensive line struggled than some other position, because I'm pretty confident the offensive line is good. And
that was the first game where they looked bad.
Yeah, so it's like I know you have the talent in the long term. I'm not really worried about you, but also it might be worse because I'm like, you're supposed to be the good one. You're supposed to be the one that helps out. You're supposed to be the one that everybody leans on when things go poorly. So I'm not worried about him long term, but gosh, that game stunk for the offensive line. And then the Jonathan Taylor, for those of you that didn't see it, it's an epidemic at this point. You have a long touchdown, catch, run, whatever, and for whatever reason, the ball carrier is motivated to drop the ball at like the 1 yard line so they can start celebrating. And I don't see how like it doesn't happen once, and everybody else is putting this on their pre-game watch tape to just be like, hey, don't do this. It's stupid. I would even be like, hey, like if say I'm Joe Burrow or say I'm Lamar Jackson or Mahomes, one of these guys making $60 million a year, I would tell my guys, like, throw it in the stands after you score. I'll pay whatever fine you get, just because I know that if you run to the back of the end zone and give it away, you held on to it all the way past the goal line. It's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world, and we've seen it a bunch. It was the Deshaun Jackson for a long time. He did it in the U.S. Army All-American game as a high schooler, and then he did it again in the pros. And I was like, that's all it takes, right? One guy to be known as the dummy that dropped it, and everyone will forget about it. But no, it happens a whole bunch. I just don't see how coaches don't go run past the other goal line, like the end line, and then celebrate. It just I don't get it at all.
And for Taylor to do it for a Colts team that's trying to fight their way into the playoffs, you literally just, I'm just going to literally drop a touchdown.
Yeah, and this is not nearly as important, but it was the first round of the fantasy playoffs, and I guarantee you a whole bunch of Jonathan. It wasn't on any of my teams, but I guarantee you a whole bunch of fans out there just became haters of Jonathan Taylor for the rest of their lives because that touchdown would have got him in the fantasy playoffs, and now he's not their dude. It is a Monday Sound Off. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. React to any and everything from over the weekend. 919-860-5326 is that number. Once again, 919-860-5326 is the Heister Automotive Group hotline open for your calls. We knew this was coming. Ian in Sanford wants to talk Dolphins. I'm just going to give the background before talking to Ian. Ian called in a few weeks ago, thought Tua should be an MVP candidate, thought the Dolphins were going to go on a little run. Since then, hasn't been, I would say, all gumdrops and roses to go with, or gumdrops and chocolate chip
Rainbows?
Cookies and presents. I'm going with the holiday theme.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Chocolate chip cookies.
I was thinking gingerbread men. That's what I was
there
thinking.
you
Gingerbread men and tinsel and everything else for the Dolphins. So we'll bring Ian on and see how far he's fallen. Ian in Sanford, go ahead and sound off on your Dolphins.
Hey, hope y'all are doing all right. First of all, I just want to send my prayers to. I don't know if y'all saw the injury to Grant Dubois. I just hope to God he's okay. I mean, that was horrific, and that's bigger than sports. That hopefully, I hope he's okay, and hopefully he can make a return. But I just don't. I don't get it. I really don't. I tried to show trust in this team, and it's just gone nowhere. And I think that when Chris Greer sat in front of us in the off season and laughed in our faces when we literally were, he was like, we are more worried about the offensive line, or the fans are more worried about the offensive line than we are. That's sad. And the offensive line was horrific yesterday. Tua, did he throw 3 interceptions? Yes, but he can't hold the ball for more than 3 seconds without getting sacked, and that's why we sucked so bad when he wasn't there. And we honestly, I was saying this before we signed him. I said let Tua play it out, 5th year, and see how he does. And it's kind of bite us in the butt because we paid him $53 million when we could have invested in quality players like Christian Wilkins and an offensive line. And no, we didn't do that. And even if you knew that you had an injury-prone quarterback, why in the heck did you have nobody, and I mean nobody, backing him up? You didn't even go out and pay Joe Flacco or any good backups. You didn't trade for Justin Fields, who I wanted in the offseason. It just doesn't make sense. Chris Greer needs to be gone, and I don't even know how. Right now, I don't even know how he's still in office because this man needs to be gone. I don't want to see him anymore.
Thank you very much, Ian. Look forward to your takes on your Dolphins. So appreciate it. Call back in anytime. Here's the tough part. Yeah, definitely felt like there was a want there, right? You could argue they shouldn't have paid Tua, or you should argue they shouldn't have paid Tyreek. It's hard to have both unless they're super duper awesome. Robert Hunt, who is playing very well, maybe outside of this past week for the Panthers, was a member of the Dolphins on the offensive line. Couldn't afford him. Couldn't afford Christian Wilkins, who Clemson guy, very, very effective interior defensive lineman. If you're talking Dolphins, you are talking about you build everything around Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Jonnu Smith, and Devon Achane. And if anything else needs some improvement, well, chances are the money was spent on some of those guys I just mentioned, even the ones that are on rookie contracts. They'll be asking for money in the near future. I do also want to second what he said about Grant Dubois, the wide receiver for the Dolphins that was carted off. It was a scary situation. They were cutting off like his pads and everything to make sure they had access to whatever they needed to have access to. He is a player from Charlotte. He was a 49er. So and drafted in the 2023 draft, has some ties to the state of North Carolina. I did see some reports out there that he is like the results have been positive as of late, movement in extremities and all those sorts of things. So obviously hoping for a full recovery there. It was one of those very scary moments that happen in football every once in a while, right? It is a contact sport.
It was interesting. I was thinking about this yesterday because I actually didn't. The first time this season, I didn't go to a Panthers game. But the previous 3 Panthers games I've been to, someone has been carted off the field in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, wow.
Chris Olave got knocked out against the New Orleans Saints. We saw an official against the Buccaneers get taken off the field. We also had Jatavian Sanders against the Kansas City Chiefs get taken off the field on a cart as well. It's like 3 straight games I saw someone get carted off the field. It was kind of a wild time.
You can go ahead and fire that breaking news sounder.
Go on.
I'm going to wait till this ESPN link loads just so I can read it directly from Pete Thamel's words, senior college sports insider. Wake Forest head football coach Dave Clawson is stepping down.
Whoa.
After 11 seasons and is expected to remain with the university in an advisory role.
Wow.
Sources told ESPN on Monday. The advisory role will include, I'm reading this again from Pete Thamel's words on ESPN.com. The advisory role will include working with athletic director John Curry, the school president and board of trustees on athletics issues. He is expected to play a big role in fundraising at the school, sources told ESPN.
Interesting.
Dave Clawson, first of all, I respect the heck out of Dave Clawson. I really like what he built at Wake, which is not the easiest place in the world to win. He did go to 7 consecutive bowl games, included top 10 appearances in back-to-back years at 2021 and 2022. The Sam Hartman years, you may fondly remember them as. Him stepping down is going to be seen as another old-school coach that is looking at the modern layout of college sports and saying, you know what, this is different. I think we need to put our resources somewhere else. What I respect from Dave Clawson, in addition to so many other things, is he's going to stay around and try to help, right? He's not somebody saying, this isn't the college football that I signed up for. I'm out. He's saying, this isn't the college football that I knew. Somebody else may be better off as the head coach, but I'm going to stay around and use whatever cachet and skills I have to try to fundraise and try to make this more of a fair fight.
Yeah, especially someone that's going to buy in with the NIL, because there are some very rich Wake Forest alums out there. I'm talking.
Got to catch the right one.
I'm talking right. They have a $50 million athletic facility that they have there that they built just a few years ago. If I remember correctly, 2 people funded that thing. Literally 2 funded $50 million. Trust me, there's some money out there.
Just got to find it.
You just got to tap into it or be willing to tap into it.
As I expected would happen, further down in the article, sources, this is, again, Pete Thamel, sources compared the decision to moves made by Virginia basketball coach Tony Bennett and former Washington football coach Chris Peterson, who both stepped away in part because of the changing era in the sport. So this seems like a 57-year-old who looked around and said, I'm not doing as well in the college football stanchion, the structure, as I did under the previous structure, and whether this is him being done with coaching and moving it into advisory role, or it's him taking a step back and looking around and seeing what he values in a coaching role in the future. I like Dave Clawson. I think he's a good coach. His record being 2 games below 500 is not what I believe is indicative of how good of a football coach he is, but more indicative of how maybe tough it is to win at a school like Wake Forest in a Power 4, Power 5 conference. It's the highs under Dave Clawson were high. Like, there were ACC championship games. There were some really cool moments. But at times it also got a little tough, and this year was one of them. So he's moving aside.
It seemed like, for me, that Wake probably needed that fresh coat of paint, if that makes sense.
Agreed.
I love the fact that Clawson's still going to be involved in the school in some way, shape, or form, because he does have a lot of connections there, being there for basically a better part of a decade plus. Actually, probably longer than that, if I remember correctly. I think he got hired before Dave Doran got hired at NC State. I have to go back and see. But he's been there for a long, long time, and a lot of people know who he is, and the fact that he's willing to stay part of the administration, I think that's actually a good thing. But the question is now, because with this decision being announced on Monday, a week after the transfer portal's open, after signing day, who's available?
Interesting.
That's a big thing. Who's available with the timing of this?
I mean, if we do go all the way down this is like Tony Bennett leaving UVA. Maybe there is a trusted assistant that he hopes to get the job.
Maybe.
And if you wait long enough, the other options are mostly used up. But we don't. That's all just immediate guesswork at this point in time. He's been the head coach 25 last 26 seasons. He is the only coach. This is just a cool stat. Little did you know? In NCAA history, to lead 4 different Division I programs to double-digit wins in a season. 4 different.
He's a good coach.
Fordham, Richmond, Bowling Green, and Wake Forest. Just for a little bit of history, the NC State, Duke, and UNC combined in their 300 and something years of football have 10 win seasons combined. He has 4 different schools he's taken it. Obviously, different levels, like Fordham isn't the same as Power 5, but he's done it at Wake Forest as well.
So I got it wrong. Dave Doran was hired 1 year prior to Dave Clawson. So these are the 2 most tenured coaches in the ACC.
And Dabo, right?
And then Dabo, yeah.
So there's some longevity there, and I don't necessarily think he loves the kids or the coach any less. I think it's just an honest kind of assessing of the situation, and he's going to take a step back. We'll continue reacting to that. We also have football at 4 coming up. We have Canesmas and much, much more. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't go anywhere.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Atlanta and Las Vegas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Terms and conditions apply.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. We are here at Broughton High School, and we're here to celebrate the next scholar athlete, Rachel Lambert.
Rachel is a hard worker and she's dedicated. She is a big impact in my life, both on and off the mat. She's a super selfless person and a great all-around athlete because she pushes herself every day to be the best, and she's always trying each practice to improve.
Rachel is the quintessential scholar athlete. She's so passionate about her academics, and she's also just as passionate about her athletics.
Winning this award means a lot to me. I'm really excited to be able to represent both my team and Broughton and recognize all of my teammates' hard work.
Your coaches talk about how you're a leader both on and off the mat, and you still make time to excel in school. How do you balance this life with school and sports?
My parents, my coach, and my teammates are always supporting me and pushing me to be the best I can be in both school and in cheer.
You're very involved in serving your community, like your mission trips and things like that. What impact does this kind of work have in other aspects of your life?
I've learned many valuable life lessons from my work in the community that I'm able to apply to cheer, school, and hopefully I'll be able to apply it in the future as well.
Congratulations, Rachel.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Fruitcake! You shouldn't have. Wow, a candle.
Spread joy, not junk, with the Autobell Car Wash Holiday Sale. Visit Autobell to buy 1 Super Poly Process Wash and get one 40% off.
from ESPN Podcast and Omaha Productions.
Ready? Here we go.
Coach, the new groundbreaking educational football podcast hosted by NFL legends Bill Belichick, Matt Patricia, and Michael Lombardi. In each episode, the coaches break down game-changing situations and front office management tactics, sharing insights from decades of coaching experience and opening up the Bill Belichick Encyclopedia of Football Knowledge. Created by football legends for football fans. New episodes of Coach drop weekly. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a mild afternoon out there for us. Mostly cloudy skies, but a few peaks of sunshine late afternoon. A high of 61 degrees, 51 overnight tonight, so it's a mild one. Some patchy fog tomorrow morning, but then we'll see some increasing sunshine in the afternoon and quite warm with highs in the low 70s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today down 110 points to 43,717. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Sometime in this hour, we will have another giveaway from our 5 Days of Canesmas. Some sweet gifts to give away, so keep your dialing fingers ready. Also, for those of you just tuning in, just getting in the car, maybe 4 o'clock exit time for you. About 7 minutes ago, we had some breaking news. That breaking news being Dave Clawson resigning from Wake Forest as their head football coach. It is no longer just reports, although, credit to Pete Thamel of ESPN, he was the first I saw with it. The school has confirmed. Dave Clawson has announced his resignation as Wake Forest head football coach. And I read the article on GoDeeks.com, which is their team site. A lot of the same stuff we've been talking about, right? Since he took over in 2014, it's been one of, if not pretty obviously the most successful stretch of football for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, with a whole bunch of reasons for that, right? From, most 10-win seasons, bowl appearances, 7 straight years, first top 10 ranking at any point in time in program history, and they did it in back-to-back years. All ACC selections. There's just a lot of good from the time with Dave Clawson at Wake Forest, which, again, will lead immediately to 2 more questions, right? You hear this, your first reaction is, wow, he was a good coach. A lot of respect for him, always handled things. He was always a fun guy at like ACC kickoff, right? He would always sit there and felt like he was being honest and kind of everyman talking with you. First question is why. Second question is, okay, who's next? And that's the way sports is, right? Next man up. There's no time to dilly-dally and wallow in your pity. You got to have the next guy lined up because the portal's already open. Recruiting's already taken place. There are assistant coaches that need to be hired if you don't bring on much of the same staff. There's a lot to get to there.
And also, who's available in terms of coaching? Pretty much everything's been filled up from my understanding, if I remember correctly. Everything's filled up, and everyone else is already trying to fill their staffs.
Yep.
And so now you got to try and build depending on who the new person brings in, or if it's someone you're hiring within, who are you retaining? You still have to hire people. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of question marks, and the timing of this is rough, to say the least.
The why, I think, is simple. He's an older older is the wrong way. He's 57, but he's an experienced coach. Has been a head coach for 24 years. And there's a good chance that he's just looking around and saying, maybe I'm not being as effective in this new college football, and I want to impact the game in other ways, or I need to take a refresher. Somebody else will be the guy. The timing of it is brutal, as you mentioned. And Wake Forest is whoever they hire is going to have to give them a little bit of leeway to maybe have a year where things aren't as exciting and aren't as upwards and everybody's happy as you'd think. There's already some articles being posted about who could be next. One of the names I'm seeing is Bob Chesney from JMU.
Okay.
Here's the hard part. If you're somebody with a little cachet that you think, I have had options and I've turned them down, I don't know if this, not saying Wake Forest isn't a great situation because you do have to go prove you can win at a power conference level, but I'm just saying, do you really want to be dropped in someplace mid-December rather than 3 weeks ago like some of these other guys, or do you just kind of wait around and bank on yourself to have another successful season and have more options next year? Dennis, you brought up an interesting name in Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Which is not completely random. He is A, born in Durham, and then B, played for 2011 to 2014 at Wake Forest as a, quite frankly, like a
reserve wideout.
A reserve wideout who was probably there thinking, I love football so much, I want to be a coach. It's easier if you play. And he's 33 years old. He's an offensive mind. He's worked under Dave Canales, who obviously brings a certain energy that I think actually plays better at the college level than the pro level.
And he was a graduate assistant at Stanford for several years, I think under David Shaw from 2014 to 2018.
Great call.
So he has some collegiate experience, and again, ties, and he's literally right down the road from from Winston-Salem down to Charlotte. It's not that far of a drive. Younger guy, I don't know. That's a possibility. It just popped into my head. It's like, well, he's available.
Make the call. NFL going to college, you've seen it happen recently.
Right?
Somewhere else in North Carolina. You could also throw in, I'm seeing Neil Brown, who was recently the West Virginia coach, although that didn't end perfectly. There's still some people that are high on him in the coaching world. Maybe Wake Forest takes a chance. And depending on the buyout, maybe, and buyout language, maybe you don't have to pay him as much, which would always be lovely.
I know Neil Brown was linked heavily to App State, and that obviously didn't come to fruition because I know the App State hired the offensive coordinator from South Carolina to be their head coach. I don't know. He might still be floating around out there. That way you don't have to worry about trying to poach somebody from someone else and someone other school.
Even though the it's happening quickly, and it may seem ridiculous that we learned of this now 12 minutes ago and we're already shuffling out multiple names as a possible replacement. That's kind of how quickly you have to move in college football right now. Unless they have an ace in the hole and they're going to sign Bill Belichick, which did take longer than I would have guessed, but I think you wait for a name like that. If you are bringing in a more traditional hiring coach, such as, a group of 5 head coach who's looking to bounce up, or a coordinator from somewhere who's looking to get their first head coaching job, I think you need to make that happen quickly, because the longer you are rudderless without a head coach, the more the portal's going to pass you by, the more recruiting decisions are going to pass you by, and the more difficult it is going to be to fundraise, which is a wildly important part of college football right now. With Dave Clawson staying on, because that's the other part of this, he's staying on in an advisory role, he'll be around the program, I wouldn't be surprised if they already have an airtight plan for what's to happen next.
That's
they
a good
probably
point.
have been discussing it because they knew that, all right, the timing isn't perfect. By the time we roll out the news of you, we're going to need to have things in motion behind the scenes, maybe even before that news breaks. So I would, if I were a Wake Forest fan, I'd be refreshing, maybe not today, right? Celebrate Dave Clawson for today, but be refreshing all the Twitter feeds and everything starting tomorrow for interviews, if not negotiations taking place with different players or different coaches, excuse me.
By the way, you did mention transfer portal because Clawson's announced today that they're stepping down. It's a 30-day window now for current Wake Forest players in the transfer portal. So as opposed to their clock starting on December 9th, if they decide to enter today, it's 30 days from today.
Which is a whole thing, because it'll be longer for the Wake Forest players to decide if they want to leave, but the players that Wake Forest is going to recruit out of the portal, their windows, it's not like, hey, our coach left, can we have everyone open to a portal for us for 30 days after our new hire? So hiring quickly and evaluating the portal quickly become very important for Wake Forest. And you better know this. If you bring in a tight end out of the portal, your tight end can wait until the portal closes for everybody else before they decide to leave because, hey, you recruited somebody over me. So it is going to be a very, very communication-filled next few weeks for Wake Forest because you have to know where everybody stands. The timing of this is not ideal for the Demon Deacons.
I feel like they have a plan.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have something behind the scenes that they've been talking about because Dave Clawson is sticking around, so he's a part of it. He doesn't want to mess over the team and then stick around to be a part of the group that's going to suffer a tough season. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, stop letting that high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Especially you homeowners out there, listen up. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to get cash out of your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client recently got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers, get cash to consolidate all your debt, and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Do not forget, everybody, Canesmas. We do this multiple times a day, the 5 days of Canesmas. And when we come back, we are going to celebrate, continue our celebration of day one of the 5 days of Canesmas presented by Hardee's, celebrating our connection with our hometown hockey team during the holidays by giving you free stuff. Again, it's presented by Hardee's, where their famous cinnamon raisin biscuits are back for a limited time and served all day, all season long. If you want to win a $50 gift card to the Eye, or a mini Zamboni, or a 3-piece Cane's grilling set, or a backpack branded with Cane's logos, or a Cane's Tervis tumbler, you have to be caller number 9, 919-860-5326. The number is open now, 919-860-5326. When we come back, we'll draw out of the Santa hat, see what the winner has won. But again, 919-860-5326. Caller number 9 is the winner. Stick around.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
A walk-off touchdown for Jordan Moore! Do you believe it?
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med, Sammy's Tap and Grill, and Roofworks.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pinch me, because Lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. #AleYeah.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Canesmas to you all. The 5 days of Canesmas taking place all week this week, where we celebrate our connection with our hometown hockey team during the holidays by giving you free stuff. Twice a show, every day this week, we will be celebrating Canesmas by taking caller number 9, who we have on the line as Jacob and Wilson, and giving away some free stuff. It's all presented by Hardee's. Where the famous cinnamon raisin biscuits are back for a limited time and served all day, all season long. Unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. The prizes, which are randomly drawn out of this Santa hat. If you're watching on our YouTube live stream, you see me shaking up the Santa hat. They include a $50 gift card to the Eye. That's the Canes team store. A mini Zamboni, which I have an example of. I am showing everybody on the YouTube live stream. We have a lot of cool stuff around our office because we are a sports radio station, and we have a lot of cool trinkets. This would be amongst the coolest. I would put this on my side of the cubicles.
The little mini
Zamboni.
Yeah.
A 3-piece Canes grilling set, a Canes backpack, and a Canes Tervis tumbler are all on the list. Jacob and Wilson is our contestant for Canesmas right here, right now. Jacob, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Congratulations. You are a Canesmas winner. But
appreciate it.
We don't know what you've won yet. So I'm mixing it up. Hopefully you can hear it. Go ahead and tell me when to stop.
All right, you can stop now.
All right, let's see what I got. It is the Tervis Tumbler, the Canes Tervis Tumbler. Congratulations. This is a keep your drinks hot, keep your drinks cold, and also keep your fandom right there where it should be on full display. The Canes Tervis Tumbler is yours. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, go ahead and stay on the line.
Let's go Canes.
Let's go, Canes. And now, whether they're making you drink in happy times or in more frustrating times, you have an awesome Tervis tumbler with the Canes branding on there. So hopefully more in good times than bad. Let's go ahead and make sure I'm keeping track of this. Boom. Canesmas is brought to you by Hardee's, where our famous cinnamon raisin biscuits are back for a limited time and served all day, all season long. We'll do it again tomorrow. We're doing it all week, Canesmas. So if you want one of those awesome prizes we've been describing, just keep listening to The Drive this week and keep paying attention. keep being ready.
Those prizes are pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. And they're good like holiday stuff because sometimes it's hard to buy yourself that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get them, you're always excited about them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And $50 at the eye can go a long way.
Oh yeah, you get some pretty cool
You can
stuff.
do some damage there. Breaking news from earlier today. Let's just update everybody on this. Dave Clawson, Wake Forest head football coach, resigning. Still waiting on future plans, but I wouldn't expect them today. But can't wait too long. So that happened earlier today. We've broken it down a few different ways. If you want to hear it, I'm sure it'll be up on our YouTube shortly. Right now, after Canesmas, it's time for a ladder challenge. Now, as we get there it is. The ladder challenge has been tweaked a little bit for the month of December because the holidays are coming up. Dennis was out. There was a whole bunch of moving parts. So instead of just doing essentially 1 week of picks to see who can make the most on likely to win bets like the ladder challenge is designed, we switched it up when Graham was producing on Friday, and I kind of liked it, so we're just going to roll this way for December. Every day, Dennis and I get 10 $3 bets. Sorry, 3 $10 bets.
I'm like, hold on, wait a second.
That was a old flipperoo in my brain. We have 3 $10 bets. I'm not going to sit here and make you all listen to us explain 10 $3 bets. We have 3 $10 bets each. Whoever has the most money tomorrow gets the win. It's that simple. It's that obvious. I'm not going to brag because Graham isn't here to defend himself, but I did win Friday to Monday.
Okay.
Shout out to CeeDee Lamb. Shout out to being able to predict that the Panthers might not be able to contain that guy. Also,
the sky's blue.
$10, 3 different bets, any kind you want, have to be obviously run between now and tomorrow's show. Dennis, lead off one at a time. You go, I go, you go, I go.
All right, my first one, you know me, I'm going to go to the NHL.
NHL shots on goal if I were assuming, but we'll see.
No. Give me the Florida Panthers on the money line on the road at the Edmonton Oilers. Stanley Cup rematch. Florida Panthers at plus 105.
Just straight up?
Just straight up.
All right.
Plus 105 on the money line.
Picking the Panthers. Are you sure you're going to be able to show your face around here?
I mean, if I got money on my pocket, yeah.
Okay, a little emotional hedge. Right? Either they lose, which is good, or you get money, which is also good.
Exactly. There's that.
I have one of those. I'll flip up my order because I have an emotional hedge. Nobody cares about my fantasy team, but I need a monster day from Bijan Robinson tonight.
Of course.
Monster day from Bijan Robinson. So I am just straight up emotionally hedging. Give me Tyler Algier to score a touchdown versus Vegas for the Falcons because that means Bijan will have done all the work down to like the 1 yard line. Then they'll put in Algier, he'll score, and I'll be furious. But I will have won a plus 200 bet. So that's $10 to bring back 30, including stake. Give me Algier to score a touchdown versus Vegas because the way my fantasy season has gone, of course, Algier is going to score a touchdown against Vegas.
Bears stink. Give me Sam Darnold at plus 225 to have 3 touchdown passes today. 3+.
Bears stink. That's part of it.
That's it.
Bears stink. Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown. How about this? The Bears stink. Justin Jefferson is what, at worst, like the second or third best wide receiver in the league.
At worst,
like if we're being like real critical of Justin Jefferson, he's plus money to score a touchdown. He's plus 105 against the Bears.
Okay.
So plus money for Jefferson to score a touchdown against a good team. I'm in, but against a bad team, you're darn sure. Especially because Jamar Chase is going so bananas recently, and we know how that little competitive thing, they were on the same college team. So go ahead and give me Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown versus Chicago. It's plus 105, so $10 will win $20.50, including stake.
Okay. I'm going to go for a big hitter right here.
Okay.
Nathan McKinnon, first goal scorer for the Colorado Avalanche today in their contest. First goal scorer at a plus 1,100.
Not a bad pick to be backing McKinnon at any point.
Yeah. So the Avs on the road at the Vancouver Canucks. Give me McKinnon. First goal scorer, plus 1,100. That's going to win me some cash.
Here's a similar one, not as much of a long shot, but similar justification. Brock Bowers is a stud, and they're playing against the Falcons. The Raiders are. Bowers is a stud. He only had 49 yards last week. I think they're going to try to get him back going. So Brock Bowers over 100 receiving yards, which he's done in 2 of the last 4 games. It's plus 330. So that there's some good. I mean, you're not retiring your parents off of it, but there's some good return on that one. So go ahead and give me Brock Bowers, stud tight end, rookie, to go over 100 receiving yards versus the Falcons, and then hopefully when you add up all my winnings, I'll have more winnings than Dennis.
All right, we'll see. If Nathan McKinnon scores, I got you.
Yes, but if you also have a long shot on there, that is likely to bring back no money.
Also true.
In which case, then Brock Bowers will win and I'll win. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll track it. We'll see how it goes, and we'll talk trash tomorrow. Although trash talk ahead of time I actually think is worth more because that's when you're confident in yourself rather than waiting for the final buzzer. That's the ladder challenge here on The Drive. Let's move on to the Podium. The Podium every single Monday here on the Podium. We name one of the 4 ACC programs from the state of North Carolina as the gold medalist, the silver medalist, the bronze medalist, and off the podium. And this is a 1-week award. So it is all things that have taken place within the last week. It is not cumulative. So, you don't get credit for big wins that happened a month ago. It is just this week. Now, I also have to hilariously update what we said about our off the podium team here, right? It is Wake Forest is off the podium. Just call a spade a spade. Their basketball team didn't play, and hilariously in our notes as we put this together, I said football team, absolutely nothing. They're not in a bowl, not getting ready for it. Hadn't heard much out of the transfer portal. Hadn't heard much coming out of the transfer portal to Wake or leaving the transfer portal. I put absolutely nothing for the football program. And then since the time I put that in my notes and the time we've gotten to the podium, their head coach resigned. So off the podium feels even more appropriate. We would have been scrambling to put them off the podium if we hadn't had them there yet. And part of it is we don't know who's replacing Dave Clawson, but Dave Clawson did announce his resignation. We don't know who the replacement is, which makes the unknown kind of terrifying. If we knew, hey, Brad Idzik or Chesney from JMU, or I have the other ones that have been reported here, according to people briefed on the situation that told The Athletic, former West Virginia coach Neil Brown, James Madison head coach Bob Chesney, and Washington State head coach Jake Dickert are all kind of potential candidates. If we knew one of them and they were already hit the ground running, it may not be as scary of a deal, but we don't know that. So it is a scary deal. So Wake Forest, with no basketball games to buoy them, you're off the podium. Sorry. Not sorry. This was judged in fact. You want better, do better. NC State, you're bronze. Men's basketball team beat Coppin State, but I would say by not enough. They beat Coppin State 76-66, and their coach was calling out some veterans in the post-game presser, so even he, I believe, recognized. Even Kevin Keats recognized. Probably not as dominant a victory as that should have been. Then they lost to Kansas, 75-60, which I don't know if that's a horrendous loss, but when you spot them 15 zippy to start the game, and then you end up losing by exactly 15,
yeah,
it feels like if you just woke up earlier, it could have been a pretty close game. Feels like, if you just showed up ready to play and didn't take a while to get the sleep out of your eyes, that you could have had a different way. Now, I recognize that I've said that there'll be those of you out there screaming, right? Like, no, because if they would have been closer, Kansas would have done that. It's the whole butterfly effect. I got you. But the optics of going down 15 zippy and then losing by 15 on the road at a top 10 opponent, that's going to catch some strays. Hey, dum-dum-dum. Should I dance? No?
I mean, you can.
And then also, I will say their football team did boost it a bit. A lot of recommitments on specifically their offense. A lot of recommitments from basically everyone other than Casey Concepcion. Kendrick Raphael, the running back, a few of the other wide receivers. Everybody's kind of recommitting to returning to NC State, which is good, right? It was a rough season this year. Super high expectations, didn't live up to them. But the fact that just about everybody is still willing to come back and sees value in their relationship at NC State bodes well for the program. It simply bodes well for the program. Now you got to make good on it and win next year, but we can have those conversations. Silver goes to Duke. They beat Incarnate Word on the basketball court, 72-46. Kind of a run-of-the-mill win over an overmatched mid-major program. So give Duke credit for doing what they should do there. Isaiah Evans, again, scored a whole bunch. I think that guy should be featured more. But a 72-46 win, you're not going to get too many nitpicks from me. And also, we don't highlight this enough. Duke's defense is elite. If you look at the advanced analytics of their defensive unit, top of the top, right? And it should be with how much length and speed they have. But it's good to see that they've lived that life, if you will, because, a bunch of freshmen, bunch of transfers. It's probably tempting to go, I'm going to try to score 30 every game. But they have remained committed on the defensive end. And then football, Darian Mensah, the number one transfer, according to ESPN, in the entire country, quarterback from Tulane, committed to Duke. That's going to be important. One thing you'll hear me say often about recruiting, about transfer portal, about how coaches run programs is so much of it starts with the quarterback. You want to get your high school quarterback commitment early, so then you can build around it and you can sell that to everybody else. Hey, wide receiver, you and blah, 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 quarterback can be a connection. Offensive line, you'll be blocking for blah, blah, blah. Duke, for the second straight year, has nabbed one of the best quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and this year maybe the best quarterback in the transfer portal. And that allows you to have stability at your program, have everybody bought in. It's important. Which leads us to our gold medalist, the Tar Heels, UNC. Their basketball team beat LaSalle 93-67, talking men's basketball, which was a nice ho-hum, open and shut, big win for the basketball team. Hubert Davis, their head coach, was asked after the game what the biggest difference he saw leading up to LaSalle, which obviously was a solid result.
There's no more my bad. I'll get it the next possession. Every possession counts. And so if you go ask the guys, one of the things I said all the time is let's be detailed in our approach. And I told them what is detailed in our approach. And I said, tying ourselves to the small things, the discipline and details that allow us to be successful. So setting the screens, executing, getting to our spots, sprinting the offense, boxing out, making contact first, diving on loose balls, getting to the free throw line, making free throws, talking on defense, all those things. And so I turned up the level of me.
All good. All right. I have some nitpicks about that win. But I'm going to save them for later. 93-67. It's not the time to be mean or nitpicky now. But let's be real. Beating LaSalle handily isn't the reason why you're the gold medalist.
No.
You signed Bill Belichick to be your head football coach. You signed Bill Belichick to be your head football coach. And we're already seeing the trickle down. Talk about importance of quarterback commitments. Bryce Baker recommits, 4-star, third overall recruit, according to 247, I believe, in the state of North Carolina. Really, really good player. Looks like may have been flirting a bit with Penn State and a few others. Got on the phone with Bill Belichick on, Thursday. Then watched a basketball game with him on Saturday, having already recommitted. Aiden Banfield, a bunch of others have already taken their name out of the portal and are returning to UNC. Now I still want to see what Belichick does out of the portal as far as grabbing other players. But as far as keeping everybody that was engaged or committed to UNC to remain engaged or committed, it's been pretty good early. And then, it's the commitment. It's the money. You gave Bill Belichick a whole bunch of money. You committed a whole bunch of other money to football in order to land a Bill Belichick. That's going to draw attention. It just is. And it's going to make people more comfortable giving, right? If you're asking for cash and it's – I don't know if this is exactly the right analogy, but I'm going to try it out. You know how when you get famous and rich, which I wouldn't know, but I've heard, if you get famous and rich, suddenly people stop making you pay for things, right? Like you make millions of dollars as an athlete, you go to a restaurant, and they're like, oh, it's on the house. And you're like, no, I have the money. You should have given me the free money back before I had the money. Or like a movie star, right, goes somewhere and asks for clothes, and they're like, oh, it's free. We just want to see you wearing it. It's like, no, I have the money now. People like giving things to people that already have those things. So if UNC has a treasure chest of cash to spend on NIL, I believe more people will be inclined to give because they're like, now I'm giving to a team that has the potential to win a national championship, right? Now I'm giving to a team that is not shopping in the bargain bin. They're shopping for top shelf. And all of that comes from Bill Belichick. So gold medalist goes to UNC. I still stand by the fact that it might blow up in their face, but it was worth the swing. It was worth the try. And you should be stoked if you're a UNC fan.
North Carolina football has never been more prominent on a national stage than it has been over the last week.
Just talked about.
Exactly. I've
never had as many like off-season texts from people like, "Oh my gosh, did you see? Or do you get to cover whatever questions because of where we host this show?"
So on Thursday, I went out to the press conference on Thursday for his introduction, and the only times that I can remember a press conference being that filled with that many people in terms of just simply media, not even counting all the players on the team, other members of the athletic department. The only time I've ever seen a press conference being that filled up with so many people was Coach K's last game in that Final Four where they lost to North Carolina in 2022 down in New Orleans.
Was that a big deal or something?
It's a little bit. Ironically involving, the triangle. But that's the only other time that I could remember a press conference being that large, of that many people, that much attention. And that was just for after a game. Plus, there was also a lot of anticipation for it because everyone knew that was the final run for Coach K. But that's the only time I can remember a press conference being that covered by so many different outlets. It just went to show you that, again, it's on a national stage now that this program is.
The new currency, and you can credit Deion Sanders or whoever for college football coaches, is name recognition. Speaking of, as we cut out the podium there, Bill Belichick, name recognition. Deion Sanders, name recognition. There's another name that's being flirted about in head coaching hires. Norfolk State University, according to the Virginian Pilot, which is a newspaper down there, and also Sacramento State, which is a team on the West Coast that is trying to get in the Pac-12 and has money committed, big dollars committed. Both, I want to make sure I get the language right here, have interviewed Mike Vick to be their head coach. Their head coach. Sorry, actually, let me say this. Norfolk State, according to Virginia Pilot, has interviewed Mike Vick to be their head coach. Adam Schefter is the one reporting the Sacramento State interest, and his wording is Sacramento State is in discussions to hire former Pro Bowl quarterback Mike Vick as its new head coach. Sacramento State plans to move up to FBS, is building a new stadium, and has over $50 million in NIL. Sacramento State would build an experienced coaching staff around Vick that is in line with the new frontier of college football. So, in discussions to hire, does that mean they're like it's done? I don't know. But multiple teams have interviewed, at least it seems, Mike Vick to be their head coach, and that just goes to show why Bill Belichick matters for UNC. Right? Teams are starting to catch on that. You need to have a coach with some buzz. You need to have a coach that when the name pops up on somebody's caller ID, right on their phone, everybody goes, "Shut up, shut up, shut up. I got Bill Belichick on the line. Everybody, it's Mike Vick." Shh. You can't have somebody where you look down and go, "Yeah, I'll call him back." That's it's happening, right? And you're seeing it with Deion. Travis Hunter won the Heisman. That's not because he went to Jackson State and then Colorado because those were the biggest, richest schools that recruited him. He went to those schools because he had a unique athletic situation, and he thought Deion Sanders would be the best guy to handle that. And also Shedeur Sanders was there, which helps. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending, the home of the no closing cost loan, no third-party fees, zero means zero. And it's a good time to remember this, right? When we talk zero fees, we mean zero fees. So it is not the stereotypical airline ticket where, our rates are lower. Cool, let me go buy the ticket. And then they're like, do you want to bring a bag? You're like, well, I don't have to check one. They're like, okay, you can carry it on. That'll be $60. Oh, never mind, I'll check it. All right, that'll be $70. What? Well, okay, do you want to sit in the seat right next to the toilet? Well, no. All right, that's another $70. All right, do you want to board dead last and have no room in the overhead? No. All right, that's another $70. By the end, you're paying a whole boatload more. Same thing, right? There might be someone out there, our rates are lower than Miller. You're like, okay, cool. They're like, wow, but we got a third-party fee. All right, we got closing costs. All right, we got all this. All right, you'd have to have, a 30-year mortgage that you play all the way out to see the benefits of our lower rate because we charge all this money up front. Meanwhile, Miller Lending's like no closing costs, no fees. If you refinance in a week, we'll do it again for no closing costs, no fees. If you refinance in a year, we'll do it again for no closing costs, no fees. If rates drop, you're in great hands. If they go higher, you're also in great hands because you locked in your rate when you did. Give them a call. 919-447-3377. They can help you through it. 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Canes beat the I have Blue Jays in my notes. Blue Jackets yesterday. It was a good day. How good was it? How needed was it? And how much is left still to do? Stick around.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Are you looking for the perfect holiday gift? Did you know that Bailey's has something for everybody and every budget? Sure, we're known for our designer jewelry, fine diamonds, and luxury watches, but we also have a vast selection of beautiful jewelry and gifts under $500. You can make a piece of our Bailey's collection yours this Christmas. Add a little sparkle with the popular Icon Collection Tiny Diamond Hoops in either white, rose, or yellow gold for $395. For only $250, check out our beautiful Sterling Collection Diamonds by the Yard bracelet. Or select one of our Bailey's perfect layering necklaces. For $325, our Gold Mark Station necklace, or for only $275, our Icon Puffed Heart pendant. We're celebrating over 75 years of making holiday gifting easy. You can shop online at baileybox.com, or we invite you to visit one of our locations in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville to see why every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Adam Gold here, and it's time to tackle the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Same page where you place your bets as well. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Join today. FanDuel.com/AdamGold will get you started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. That means it's time to save big on your next job.
Right now, get your choice of 5-gallon pails of Valspar Signature Ceiling Paint or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Flat Ceiling Paint for just $148. Plus, get it delivered to your job site with free same-day delivery when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 12/20. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowes.com/same-day delivery for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, Club Lenovo music coming out. It is hilarious that this has become like our hockey theme.
Yeah, it really has.
The Canes had a much-needed good day versus Columbus yesterday.
Yeah. By the way, you can thank Jackson Blake and Bradley Nadeau for this song.
That's what they were jamming out to when we interviewed him earlier this year.
Yeah. Let's go in the locker room. They're just cranking this.
So anyway, the Club Lenovo music aside, much-needed good day. They may have played some Club Lenovo music in the post-game locker room to celebrate. First of all, it started with a shorthanded goal from Aho, which I really enjoy, an assist from Jarvis. Things got started, and just like that, game kind of felt over, right? Canes were in control. Shout out to Dustin Tokarski. Had a good day in net for the Canes. His first time in an NHL goal since, 2022, something like that?
Yeah, it's been a few years.
So he stepped out, played really, really well. It was a distinct difference, a very, very obvious line drawn from their game on Friday against Ottawa, which was a 3-0 shutout loss, to what they did on Sunday, which is good. Solid. You want to bounce back from bad games. Jordan Martinook, one of the team leaders, culture guys, talked about bouncing back from Friday's 3-0 loss.
Obviously, we've been trying to figure it out a little bit here. We have a good game and then have an off game. So I feel like that one was more of how it looks and how we play. Everybody was pulling on the same rope, and it's good to have those games, and hopefully we can build off that, because we did a lot of good things, and I'm sure we'll see it tomorrow and hopefully build and take it into what day of the week? Tuesday, I think. Yeah, we'll go Tuesday.
I like the bounce back. I am still all in on my concern for the Canes this year. It took me how many? Let me make sure I get the right games here. 30 games. Took me 30 games to get here. Actually, 29 because I did talk about it. 28 because I talked about it on Friday. But this weekend kind of confirmed it. I am all in on the Canes needing more edge. Which is I understand kind of like a cop-out, because it's not a tangible thing, right? It's not like, oh, they need more scoring, or oh, they need a better this or a better that, something that you can measure, something that you can look in the stats. I think they need more edge. And I actually took the fam, right? We did the my wife, my son, one of his little buddies, another couple. We went to the game on Friday to watch Ottawa, and I don't watch a lot of Canes games truly as just like a fan, right? Where you're cheering and everything. It's the media takes some of that away. Friday in person, you could feel it. It was a bad game for the Canes. And Dennis, would you call that an understatement?
Yeah, I thought they played okay.
I thought at times they played okay. At times it was weirdly unaggressive. And inaggressive. I don't know the proper grammar for that. There were a couple where I'm looking at Aho going, shoot the puck, and he's trying for like the highlight pass, and it doesn't work. And it was just frustrating. Things were going bad. And the thing that I missed, right, and I was kind of hoping, beer in my hand, food, watching the game, kind of hoping for it. It didn't seem like anyone was furious. And I get it. And the part that I'm saying I get is it's a long season, and you can't wear every off night as like a day ruiner, or else you'll burn out, right? You can't. But someone has to walk around and go, Ottawa's not that good, and we're getting shut out. Like, do I need to do something to spark y'all? I know it doesn't happen as much in professional sports, and especially not the NHL, but you would see if it were college basketball, in the middle of that Ottawa game, the coach would be taking off their suit jacket and throwing it, and they'd be yelling and might even pick up a tech just to get the team rolling, and there was none of that from the Canes. And I asked this question on Friday, on Friday during the show ahead of the game, and I still don't have an answer for it. And Dennis, you weren't around Friday, so if you have an answer, jump in. Is there anyone on the Canes who fits the description of, I love them on my team, I'd hate them if they were on another team?
In terms of like kind of being a jerk?
Yes,
little bit of that, but also being productive?
Without all the history of the term jerk with the Canes, because at times the whole team takes on that persona. With the idea of like, man, they're a nuisance, or man, they're always flirting with that line of what's okay and what's too much.
Svech. It's supposed to be Andrei Svechnikov.
Okay,
so Andrei Svechnikov,
supposed to be.
Andrei Svechnikov, when he's playing his best, is that agitator, where he's around the front of the net, actually drawing penalties from the other team, and is around the net being a little bit of a pest, getting under people's skin a little bit. Honestly, it's supposed to be Svech on a consistent basis.
If it's supposed to be Svech, I need him to be better at it. And I need him to sense the moments where it makes sense. Because, I mean, we all know the Svechnikov penalty issues, right?
There's that.
There's that. And in a game like Friday against Ottawa, I don't even know, like, once you're down 2-0 or it feels like the room is dead, a penalty there I'm not super furious about. I'm right. Like, if you go do something and you light somebody up and everybody gets into it, and maybe there's even a little little defense of your guys, like whatever it is, I'm fine with it then. The issue is so much of the Svech physical stuff comes when you're up 2-1 and you're clinging to it and you're trying to win a game, and now you go on the penalty kill. Whoever it is, if it's supposed to be Svech, obviously he has the physical ability to do it. It has to be someone who's looking for that. It has to be someone who is constantly judging, does my team have the juice today or do they not? And then acting accordingly. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are games you lose by 3 goals and everybody's playing like with their hair on fire the entire game. You just have some bad puck luck, right? It bounces off a skate and you give one up. Like there's games where you lose 4-1 and you feel like you're operating in the red, right? The engine was revving the entire game. And then there's games like the one on Friday where, the opposite is true. You're kind of idling for a little bit, right? I've got the hybrid. You're sitting there on like quiet mode where it doesn't even sound like the engine is on and you're just cruising. Now, a game like Sunday, right? A game like yesterday, which was a great win, you have to be monitoring that one and go, oh, we're good, right? You get the early shorty. All right, yeah, instigator, take the night off. We're going to be fine without you tonight. Our skill's going to carry us in this one. You have to be constantly monitoring it, and until that, it's tough because without that guy, by the way, it doesn't have to be one. You could have 3 of them. Some teams are made seemingly exclusively of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be every game, but until you have that, like I'm worried about what happens on days where you start slow. And we've seen him fly back, but it's always there. Again, to be completely honest with you, I'm not lacking for much watching them in the skill department. Would you want a second-line center? Yes. But every team is going to have their few things you want. But they have scoring. They have exceptional passing. They have guys that are making a leap. Martin Necas. They have experience. They have fresh blood. They have a blue line that plays really well, that can score. Could you want a little bit more depth at goalie, especially with Freddie Anderson out? Yes. I'm not saying they don't have flaws, but I'm saying the thing that concerns me the most is a little bit of sandpaper, grit, edge, fire, whatever you want to call it. I haven't seen enough of that, and in a sport like hockey, you need it.
I think you're going to see more of it come playoff time from a guy like William Carrier. Carrier, for example, I think is going to be a guy that when postseason rolls around, that's where you're going to see more of that from him. William Carrier, because the way he plays, he's built for postseason hockey.
That's fine. And I will say that is a tough role to play.
Like on a night in and night out basis? Yeah.
And well, you don't have to do it every night, but it's a tough role to play from the jump on a new team, right? You need to build up some loyalty before you go expecting guys to have your back in a fight, right? You need to earn some stripes before you're like, hey, you know what? That guy disrespected me. Who's coming with me? especially if you're doing that when it was a mediocre disrespect and you're trying to conjure something up out of thin air. So there's a possibility there that it's coming, but until I see it, I'm going to be a little skeptical. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'll tell you what I'm not skeptical of. Coach Pete and everyone over at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial. Coach Pete will help you regain control of your foundation for retirement. And I always emphasize this, see you not just to retirement, but through a worry-free retirement. Call now for Coach Pete's famous and elaborate total retirement plan, where they have 22. You heard that. I didn't misspeak. 22 steps that go along with the process of identifying your unique financial composition and the best way to navigate the journey along the way to, and again, through retirement. Coach Pete and his team at Capital Financial develop a total and customized retirement plan so you secure and maintain both confidence and control of your finances. Coach Pete is committed. Ready? I love a good sports analogy. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, getting you through the financial red zone, over the goal line, and into that retirement end zone where you can do an awesome end zone dance. Call 800-691-3215. And it is dance worthy, right? To get hit retirement and have a guaranteed income forever. 800-691-3215 or text TIM, that's TIM, to 600-700. Again, the number to call, 800-691-3215. Make sure they know you heard about it right here on The Drive, or you can text my name to 600-700. We have the starting five coming up next. It's a bunch of breaking news in the coaching world and more. Stick around.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Atlanta and Las Vegas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with cold hard cash.
Anyone else?
Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch.
New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
99.9 The Fan, Carolina Ale House, and me, Victoria Votenecker, want to get you to a Canes game. Join me this Friday night at the Carolina Ale House in Briar Creek from 7 to 9. Sign up for your shot to grab a pair of tickets to the January 5th Canes-Penguins game. I guarantee 30 people will be able to get into the game on us once the night is done. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. To win, you gotta come hang out with me, so set the reminder. Carolina Ale House at Briar Creek Friday night with me and 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey guys, this is Corporal Remington Wright here with VM Faith 312 in Iwakuni, Japan. I just want to say happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to all my family, all my friends. Really want to shout out my wife and my grandparents.
Hi, my name's Staff Sergeant Nichols. I'm with the 118th Wing. We're here in East Tennessee helping with hurricane relief. And I wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's.
Edwards Inc., standing tall and proudly saluting all who have served and those who continue to serve this holiday season.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Health Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? This holiday season, give yourself the gift of sleep. At Parkway Sleep Health Centers, we've treated sleep disorders for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. From all of us at Parkway Sleep, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score!
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Some clouds linger across the area for the rest of the day today, with temperatures staying in the 50s this afternoon. Tonight we'll have some patchy fog with a low temperature of 51, and then mostly cloudy with a slim chance for rain Tuesday and a high temperature of 69.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 110 points today to 43,717. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. But first, got some opportunities for you. 99.9 The Fan, Carolina Ale House, and Victoria Vodenecker, who you recognize from the Adam Gold Show, which airs directly before this one every weekday here on 99.9. They want to get you to a Canes game. Join Victoria this upcoming Friday, at the Carolina Ale House in Briar Creek from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Show up, sign up for a shot to win a pair of tickets to the January 5th Canes-Penguins game. That's a draw right there. That's going to be a really good game. Canes-Penguins, January 5th. They guarantee 20 people will be able to take a friend to the game once the night is done. So 20 pairs of tickets. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. Must be present to win, so set your reminders now. Carolina Ale House at Briar Creek, Friday night with Victoria and 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader, from 7 to 9 p.m. You can win a whole bunch of Canes tickets, or at least a pair, and have a whole bunch of chances at it. With that being said, it's time for the starting five, starting with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bill Belichick's first weekend as the UNC head football coach.
My dad told me this: when you love what you do, it's not work. It's really, I love what I do. I love coaching.
Not only that, he's doing the college football thing, right? For those of you that didn't pay attention to it this weekend, Bill Belichick was in attendance for the UNC LaSalle basketball game, spoke to the fans, and brought out a 4-star quarterback recruit, Bryce Baker, big in-state recruit, out onto the floor with him. Pure recruiting move. He watched a basketball game with a high school quarterback. That is Bill Belichick saying, I am willing to get down and dirty in the college football world. I'm not going to be above it. I'm not going to be too cool for school, literally. I am going to be a college football coach. And then on top of that, I have, we're not going to call it breaking news, but I will call it news. Bill Belichick and UNC has landed a transfer commitment from Christo Kelly out of Holy Cross.
Okay.
He is a 6'4", 305-pounder, all Patriot League first team. Bill Belichick is doing the full college thing. He's building a college roster with like, hey, we need a solid starter on the offensive front. Let's go to a mid-major kind of group of 5, maybe FCS program, Patriot League, and go find a guy that had a good year, played a bunch of snaps, and bring him in as a solid floor so we can have run the offense that we want. That is a college football move, right? So, I think he should lean into the pro element, right? He should lean into, I have connections in the pros. I know what they're looking for at the combine. I know what they're looking for on tape. I can help you be a pro, but there are certain, I said this on Friday, the blocking and tackling, metaphorically, the foundation of your program still has to be the foundation of a college football program. You need lots of depth. You need good players. You need solid trenches, offense and defensive line. And then you can sprinkle in all the pizzazz that comes with having 6 Super Bowls and getting to, be in different circles that a program has a hard time getting in without Bill Belichick as the coach. But, getting excited about the 4-star high school quarterback from in-state, choosing your university, bringing him to a basketball game, that's darn near like old school college coach. Bringing in the transfer from a Patriot League, all Patriot League season, that's darn near very new school college coach. I'm still waiting for the big, like, Bill Belichick pro coach thing, which I think we'll get the first time a feel for it when he names his coordinators. But he's doing the college coach thing pretty well. And that's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All together.
Here's Hill now, top of the arc. Finds Styles left wing. Pats it to Parker Jr., kicks it back to Styles, and there's the first bucket of the ball game, left arc. About 6 minutes in is Dontrez Styles.
Good weekend of college basketball. Well, I wouldn't say it was the flashiest, headliniest weekend of college basketball.
At least locally.
At least locally, true.
I did watch Gonzaga versus UConn the other night.
Is there basketball that takes place outside of the Triangle?
No.
I was unaware. UNC smoked LaSalle, and you just heard a highlight there from NC State losing to Kansas. Obviously, different beasts, right? You play LaSalle at home. You play Kansas on the road. Very difficult to compare the two. We'll start with NC State since that was the clip. NC State's not going to have a premier non-conference victory. All they have left is I believe, Rider and then their ACC schedule, which, if you don't win a power conference, non-conference game, you just put a ton more pressure on yourself in conference. You have to get your big wins when they're available in conference. You have to beat the Clemsons and the Dukes. You have to find a few of those, or else we're going to get to the end of the year, and unless you win the ACC tournament again, which is always a possibility, proved that last year, unless you win the ACC tournament, right, when they put the graphic on bracketology up, should NC State get in, they're going to say big wins, and there's going to be a blank. Right? Big wins, Boston College at home. It's like that's not going to get you into the tourney.
Those quad ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's the high net ranking teams. So you've put a lot more pressure on your conference schedule, unless you're cool just saying, hey, it worked for us last year. We're going to be outside the bubble until the ACC tournament. We're going to have to win 5 games. We're going to start on Tuesday, and we're going to go on the run because, you've proven that's effective if you can pull it off. It's just very difficult. Now, the Kansas loss, you lose to the top 10 team in their house. It's hard to say that's a very bad loss, but the problem is you just don't have any really good wins to this point yet. And that's going to make your margin of error much smaller. From UNC's standpoint, guess what? UNC doesn't have any massive non-conference victories either. They did smoke LaSalle, give them credit for it, but they do have the chance, right? They're playing number 9 Florida next. They're playing number 23 UCLA after that. Then they have their final tune-up before the ACC schedule gets started. So they're not, out of opportunities. But the issue I have with the LaSalle win, and they won by a bunch, and they should, and they look like the better team, and they were. Credit to them. The issue I have with the LaSalle victory is I would have liked to have seen you do the things you lean on in big games. Cade Tyson was the story of the game. He had 5 threes, all from the corner, scored 23 points. He is he was the story. I don't even know if Cade Tyson is going to play in their big games this year. Right? When The chips are down against their good opponents. They've leaned on their veterans on the perimeter, R.J. Davis, Seth Trimble. So and to varying degrees, haven't really lived up to what you need to win those big games when you lean on those guys. So against LaSalle, I would have liked to have seen you get those guys right, unless suddenly you plan on playing Cade Tyson a bunch more, right? Because if Cade Tyson now becomes the guy that you have in the corner to space the floor for the guys I mentioned, that's one thing. But Hubert Davis hasn't exactly been super fluid with his rotations in big games. It tends to be the same guys. R.J. Davis scored 13 on 4 of 11 shooting. Cade Tyson, 5 of 10 from 3, scored 23. I think I would have spent more time running up the score with my starters than letting the others get it going, because I need those starters to be ready for the big games. But is it nitpicking? Yes. Was it a dominant victory over an overmatched opponent? Yep. And who knows? Maybe the atmosphere and the big win led to Bill Belichick in attendance being super excited and hitting the recruiting trail. Hubert Davis did see he hadn't met Bill Belichick yet. Those two guys need to get in maybe it's happened since the game. Those two guys need to get into a room and talk shop.
I'm sure they have.
They need to share numbers so Hubert can say, when I have a 5-star on campus, can I bring them by? Like, we need all hands on deck for recruiting on both sides. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Murphy to throw, looking to the left, nobody open, looks back to the right, fires down the sideline for Jordan Moore. He's got it! It's a touchdown with no time on the clock! The Blue Devils have won!
That was an exciting moment there.
That would be the final play for Dave Clawson, by the way.
Oh, goodness. Dave Clawson, if you couldn't tell by the context clues from Dennis right there, he's announced his resignation as the head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons football team. News breaking earlier this afternoon. He will stay on the program in an advisory role, mostly advising the athletic director and working with fundraising and funds, and I'm assuming NIL and everything that comes with it. I'm not surprised by the decision, because I do think, and this is no disrespect to Wake Forest, it's by nature of your program's history, by nature of the size of your school, some of the schools that you recruit against, the cash that you have at your disposal. It's a tough place to win, and he has, better than any coach in Wake Forest history, found a way to do so consistently, maybe this year excluded. But I'm not surprised that the burnout led to, I need a little bit of a break. I'm not surprised that he's resigning. I'm surprised by the timing, right? Waiting until this long into the offseason, that's tough. It's tough on the program, right? The portal's already open. Guys are already on the move. Your portal, because your players get 30 days to enter the portal after a coaching change, your portal will now last longer than everyone else's portal, which is a tough situation, right? Because you don't know what you have to replace. You might think, all right, our team is good, and then after other people can join the portal is closed, you have some guys join the portal, and you're in a tough situation. So the timing of it is tough for Wake Forest. But in the big picture, we talked about this with Mac Brown when he was fired. Different situation, but same idea. Did you leave the program in a better position than when you found it? I think the answer was yes for Mac Brown. I think the answer is a resounding yes for Dave Clawson. When he took over, the program had never been ranked in the AP Top 10. It was ranked in the AP Top 10 in back-to-back years at different times in 2021 and 2022. 7 consecutive bowl games. If I'm not mistaken, there were only 17 bowl games in Wake Forest history, and he has hit 7 of them in back-to-back years. The quarterbacks that have gone through Wake Forest have been impressive. There's a lot of good for Wake Forest.
They've had a lot of really good wide receivers.
A lot of good wide receivers, playmakers in general. Yeah. There's some very, very good moments in the Dave Clawson era. You hope that the timing of his resignation doesn't undo too much of that. And as always, we said this earlier, sports are a next man up activity. Where do you turn to next? The Athletic had reported that candidates from a source familiar with the situation, according to The Athletic, There was Chesney, the head coach of JMU. There was it Dickert, the head coach of Washington State. And there was Neil Brown, the recently departed head coach of West Virginia. Those were the three they mentioned. Dennis, I thought you had a really clever outside-the-box idea in Brad Idzik.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers.
Exactly. Played at Wake Forest. Mm-hmm. He's in the state already. Would bring a different kind of buzz to the program. And then I'll throw this out there. There's been a whole bunch of head coaching hires that came from somewhere we did not see coming at all. Obviously, Bill Belichick at UNC. We talked earlier, Michael Vick has interviewed for the Norfolk State and Sacramento State head coaching jobs. There's a lot of outside the box thinking in hires. Wake Forest could do that, right? So we're sitting here trying to guess ideas. There may be somebody completely outside the realm of our ideas that is calling Wake Forest now going, hey, don't tell anybody, but do I have a chance?
What about David Shaw, former Stanford head coach?
He's somebody that gets brought up in darn near every.
He's working with the Broncos as like an
analyst,
personnel executive, something along those lines. I mean, why not him?
Give him a call. I don't think there's many people that you shouldn't call, because of, or have already called. The other part of this is Dave Clawson is moving into an advisory role. So we don't know how long these conversations have been happening. They may have started with a list of 30 and already whittled it down to 3 by the time this announcement came out. So there's a lot of moving parts here. I think Dave Clawson is, a very, very good coach, and he thinks it's best time to step down. I want to see where they go with it. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. Now it's back in is Kotaniemi with a drive. He scores! Yes, Barry Kotaniemi picks the far corner, and the Canes go up 4-1.
And that was the winning score, 4-1 against Columbus. You heard Mike Maniscalco in the broadcast right there. 4-1 over the Blue Jackets. Dennis, I'm going to come to you for your overall thoughts on the game. I've kind of given mine, but I do also want to just say this out loud. It's always fun when a former employee, former player, former somebody comes to your arena and you send them back home with a loss. Mm-hmm. Even if it's somebody who, no hard feelings, like Don Waddell, the GM, former GM and president of a whole bunch of things for the Canes, who's now running the Blue Jackets. He was there. He was suited and booted, dressed up all nice, and he got to take his squad and get sent home with a 4-1 loss, which, it always feels kind of good. That's what competition is for. You're either with us or against us. You're now against us. Take this L. Now, Dennis, your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was nice to see them actually score 5-on-5 because it had been about 4 games or 3 games since they've done that. No. I'm talking just straight 5-on-5. It had been a minute, to say the least. I think it was good to see them actually get on the board in that regard. I will say this, though. Shorthanded, you just mentioned, Aho and Jarvis shorthanded together, pretty dynamic. I know in the past, in recent seasons, it's been Aho and Teravainen out there together, and we've seen oftentimes Seth Jarvis out there with Jordan Stahl. Actually, that's usually how Rob Burnhamore likes to start penalty kills, is Stahl and Jarvis out there together. But when Jarvis and Aho were out there together on the PK, they seem to create some magic. They've combined for shorthanded goals a lot in recent games.
And some of it is just, you can tell they're kind of excited for the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I always use this as an example for what I'm trying to say. Peyton Pritchard of the Celtics, he's like a backup point guard. Go look up his stats on half-court shots. He's unbelievable. When the clock is expiring and he's like three-quarter court, he's shooting, and this is an exaggeration, like 65%. It's unreal. But you can tell everybody when he's on the court gets kind of excited to like get him the ball with three-quarter court to shoot it. Like the vibe just changes. I'm not saying Jarvis and Aho are going to score on 50% of their penalty kills, but you can tell when they're out there, everybody's kind of like, oh, these are the guys that score the shorties. And it just, everybody kind of gets a little bit more excited. And I think it plays into each other, right? It's like, because everyone gets excited, they use that energy to score more, and then because they score more, everybody gets excited, and it just keeps going back and forth like that. So I want to see it. The other thing I do think we need to point out anytime we talk about that win over the Blue Jackets is Dustin Tokarski in net.
Yeah.
kind of a scrap heap claim and hadn't played in the NHL in years, goes out there and all he does is, stop 28 pucks, give up just one goal, and get the dub.
To think about a month or so ago, he was signed to a professional tryout contract with the Chicago Wolves because the injuries with Freddie Anderson, even Kochetkov going down for that short bit, you needed just a body in Chicago just to have someone in net. And he played well there, and they played so well that they said, hey, Spencer, go back down to Chicago, find your game. We're going to bring Dustin Tokarski up. And sure enough, the dude balls out.
5th goalie to play for the Canes this year.
Yeah.
And you got a 1-goal dub out of him in his first action.
4th goalie, I think, to get a win this season for the Canes.
Yes. 12 for Piotr, 3 for Spencer Martin, 3 for Freddie, and now 1 for Dustin Tokarski. Sorry for Yaniv Peretz, didn't get the W in his 8 minutes on ice. But still, 5 goalies. If you're getting wins and you're into your 5th goalie, that's something to be commended. So shout out to old Dusty Tokarski. I didn't mean old as a derogatory, just you know what I mean.
Old Dusty.
Exactly. Old Dusty. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one!
Bryce throws deep downfield.
Oh, he's open.
Poker wide open. He's got the 45. He's got midfield. Down the right sideline. Nobody to beat. Jalen Coker, 83 yards for the score.
That was, and I'm choosing my words carefully here. That was the highlight for the Panthers against the Cowboys. Notice I didn't say plural. That was the highlight. Panthers lost to the Cowboys. My notes say yikes, and I think that's appropriate. It was the definition of something we talk about often, which is a replacements movie quicksand game, right? One mistake led to another, and then suddenly you're struggling so hard and it's just getting worse and worse until eventually you're in over your head. Dave Canales, after the game, head coach, responded to how the team responded to the first turnover. Here it is.
That's a challenge, right? That's when you have a successful drive ending in a turnover, the challenge is you got to snap back and say, okay, these are the things that led to the success of that drive. Can we just return to it? And we weren't able to return to it, in the course of the first half there. So, you bring up a good point. We have to be able to say, okay, this thing happened. Let's just reset and just get back to our football.
That's true. Within a game, especially the positions, I would say cornerback and quarterback have to have the 2 most amnesia. Like, you make a mistake, go out there with more confidence the next time, as maybe off logic as that seems. But also, I'm going to say this. Everything Dave Canales just said about an individual game, right? You have a turnover, you need to be able to forget about it and come out and move on and get back to the things you do well. The same is true from a season-long perspective, right? Treat that clunker of a game against the Cowboys as a turnover. Right? You can't let that turnover turn into 2 and 3 and 4 turnovers. So don't let that game turn into 2 and 3 and 4 games where you give back all the progress you made the previous 6 games, which is you made a lot of progress over the previous 6 games. Right? Ready for this? Ready for this? Do you know what actually happened this weekend? The Panthers played bad, and most people were surprised.
That's true.
How crazy is that?
That's
it wasn't,
true.
well, of course of course Cooper Rush looked good. He was playing against the Panthers. It wasn't that. It was, wow, Cooper Rush looked good against the Panthers? Didn't see that coming, right? All the cliche, didn't see that on my bingo card. Like, that's where you had come. Don't let one bad game go all the way back. I said this earlier, I'll repeat it. Most time, building a team from the dungeons, from the basement of the NFL to a contender, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. 3 steps forward, 1 step back. It's not linear. It's not arrows up the whole time. And if you turn the ball over, that's going to accentuate the step back. And Bryce had 4 turnovers. And, right, the interception down the middle, no excuse. The fumbles, never an excuse, right? Regardless of how quickly your blindside protector gets beaten, 2 hands on the ball, you take the shot, you got to find a way to keep that ball in your possession. Dave Canales after the game on the lack of ball security.
The biggest part of it is just the ball security, right? And making sure that we end the down with the ball. As long as we have the ball, we can manage. If it's a sack, it's a sack. We can figure it out what to do next, but when we have those turnovers and we flip the field and we gave them 10 points there, it does make it more difficult. It doesn't make it impossible, but it does make it more challenging, and then everything else, your execution from then on out is at a premium, and that's where you have to play really clean football. And it was definitely not the type of ball we want to play.
Do you know what's even more frustrating? You took advantage. We talked Jalen Coker. You took advantage of the dumb backup quarterback blunder from the Cowboys.
Yeah, you did.
Cooper Rush just drops it down there on going in late in the half, and somehow you get an 80-yard touchdown out of it. You took advantage. Felt like that changed the whole game. You came out in the second half, and it was like, oh, never mind, nothing changed.
I thought that could have been like, oh, here's our spark. Yep. Hey, as bad as the things went, we're only down 3. We get the ball to start the second half.
Got a little lucky, took advantage of it.
And then one play in, pressure right up the middle. Bryce doesn't even see it. Ball's on the ground. Game.
Could have been the spark. Now it's about looking at why it wasn't the spark and fixing that moving forward. I'm not writing off anybody. I'm still impressed. If you took the last 7 games and like 7 games ago, I drew it out and I said, all right, you're going to have 2 really close games against one of the best teams in the league, 1 really close game against a division opponent. You're going to have a couple of wins. You're going to have a bye week, and then you're going to have 1 stinker. And I don't tell you the order. I don't tell you anything. You're signing up for that every single time. So I'm still taking it as a net positive the past 2 months of football for the Panthers. You just can't let that Cowboys game beat you 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And if you need an even more silver lining, top 3 pick. You went from top 5 to top 3 in the NFL draft. Could be the difference between your number 1 and number 2 wide receiver, or trading back and getting another second, or whatever you end up doing. So, the draft pick, it's not nothing. It is not nothing whatsoever. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do need some numbers game contestants, but first, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I was there this weekend, and I can tell you this. The gift guide is going to save some people, okay? Walk in, already know what you're looking at, baileybox.com. They have a gift guide there from Christmas classics. We're talking the diamonds, holiday hoops, fun fashionable earrings, cheerful color if you want some semi-precious or precious colored gemstones for earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. Then once you get there, and this is where I encourage you, talk to the experts, right? They're there to help you, and they have that store absolutely memorized. It's actually kind of incredible because it seems like, how do you know where everything is? It's really going to help you out. So my advice is go there to check out the watches. I'm always an advocate for the Omega Boutique. I'm a massive Omega fan. You go to the other side in the Fox and Bailey watch shop. There's the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in the state. Hamilton, American Tradition. There's the Glashütte Original watchmaking company. There's so many cool watches. And then while you're there, pick up something for that special person in your life so you can win the holiday season. It's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically their Village District location. Let them know I sent you when you're there. But when you're there, again, baileybox.com gift guide, or you can just talk to one of the experts. They'll hook you up. Make sure you know you're getting the perfect gift for that someone special in your life. And then check out the watches while you're there, because I wouldn't be able to resist, and I don't think you will either. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need some numbers game contestants. The prize for today is a Sharky's $25 gift card. Come to Sharky's Saturday, December 28th for the best college football watch party in the Triangle involving North Carolina State University and East Carolina University. Great beer and food specials all day. The greatest bar in the world is hosting the greatest watch party, December 28th, Sharky's off Durley Road next to the Shell Station. Now, if you want to win that, you want to win the numbers game, you got to call right now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 to play the numbers game and potentially win the Sharky's gift card. Numbers game coming up next.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Bryce throws deep downfield.
Oh, he's open.
Booker wide open. He's got the 45. He's got midfield. Down the right sideline. Nobody to beat. Jalen Coker, 83 yards for the score.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Has Mother Nature taken a toll on your home? Whether it's storm damage, wear and tear, or just the passage of time, Baker Home Exteriors is Raleigh's trusted expert for all your home repair needs. From roofs, gutters, and siding, to doors, windows, and decks, we have the experience to restore your home. But we don't just fix problems, we improve your home's resilience and aesthetics, giving you peace of mind and pride in your property. Visit BakerRoofing.com to schedule your repair service today.
It's truck season at John Heister Chevrolet, and if you've been waiting for the right deal on a Chevrolet Tahoe High Country, we've got it for you right now. Get yourself a big, beautiful 24 Chevy Tahoe High Country for up to $13,000 off. This incredible deal is for customers with a Costco membership who currently own a 2010 or newer Chevrolet passenger car or truck, or currently leasing a 2019 or newer Chevy passenger car or truck. See dealer details. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Varina. Together, let's drive.
Drive-through car washes are quick, but a mobile detailer gets to the nitty-gritty. Autobell Car Wash is the sweet spot between both. We quickly clean your car from the inside out to save you time. Get the app at autobell.com.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. The Fed has dropped rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6% or you are in process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock in a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000. Lower rates and lower fees. Get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Loan Pronto, call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Abrams, head of research audiology at Jabra Enhance. Did you know there's a connection between untreated hearing loss and chronic conditions like cognitive decline and dementia? The good news is hearing aids can actually reduce these risks and help you stay connected. Today, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite hearing aids, the game-changing Jabra Enhance Select 500. Jabra Enhance offers an affordable solution for most common hearing problems with our best-ever speech-enhancing capabilities for a mighty sound in a micro-sized package. Plus, with Jabra Enhance's premium package, you get 3 years of continuous remote care provided by licensed hearing healthcare professionals. No waiting rooms or long commutes. It's as easy as video chatting with a friend. Because at Jabra Enhance, our job is to help you hear and be heard.
Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. One of my favorite times of the day. I get to pretend I'm a game show host. And as always, if I'm going to be a game show host, well, then we need some game show contestants. James in Morrisville and Buddy in Apex are competing today for the prize of a $25 Sharkies gift card. Come to Sharkies Saturday, December 28th for the best college football watch party in the Triangle involving North Carolina State University and East Carolina University. Great beer and food specials all day. The greatest bar in the world is hosting the greatest watch party. December 28th, Sharkies off Durley Road next to the Shell Station. One of James and Morrisville or Buddy and Apex will get that prize, but they have to win the numbers game. And first, we have to decide who goes first. James and Morrisville, are you there?
I am here.
All right. The question is simple. What was the highlight of your past weekend? But because we're a sports station, keep it sports related.
Well, Steelers took a hard L yesterday, but I did get to watch my Spurs clutch a win against the Trailblazers, so I'll go with that.
All right. Dennis is also a Steelers fan, so I'm not sure bringing up that hard loss will benefit you, but he is our judge, so we'll
Stings.
see. Lost the state championship, if you will. Buddy and Apex, you're up next. Same question to you, and then Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and one of you will get to go first. The question is, what was the highlight of your past weekend? But keep it sports related.
I guess hanging out with the boys at Billy's house watching the Navy-Army game.
All right, hanging out with the boys at Billy's house. Dennis, which one are you going with? The Spurs getting the dub or the boys at Billy's house watching Army-Navy?
I mean, I don't know Billy, but it sounds like he's got a cool spot. So I'm probably going to go with Billy's place. I'm going to go Buddy on this one. Buddy hanging out with Billy and the boys.
Buddy and Billy and the boys get to go first. James in Morrisville, go ahead and stay on the line. You will have your chance. Just got to wait a minute. Buddy, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories for you are NFL players with the first name David, NFL players with the last name Williams, NBA players, all triangle area first-round picks, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go first name David.
All right. These are all players in the NFL whose first names are David. I will give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. David Njoku, Cleveland Browns.
95.
Incorrect. David Montgomery, Detroit Lions.
5.
Correct. David Garrard, Jacksonville Jaguars.
27.
Incorrect. David Njoku, Cleveland Browns.
88.
Incorrect. David Garrard, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Skip.
David Carr, Houston Texans.
4.
Incorrect. David Njoku, Cleveland Browns.
89.
Incorrect. David Garrard, Jacksonville Jaguars.
I see 85 for Njoku?
It absolutely was 85.
Right.
Little late, but you would have gotten it right. You got David Montgomery with 5. By the way, he might be out for the year, for those of you that are paying attention to that. David Garrard, who is he an ECU guy?
ECU guy.
I thought so. Number 9 with the Jags. And David Carr, you got Card. You went with Derek Carr's number 4, but David Carr was number 8. So you got one. You got one. It's not a 0. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and wait on the line. That brings us to James in Morrisville. James, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players with the last name Williams, NBA players who all have triangle ties and were first-round picks, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go NFL last name Williams.
All right. The way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need 2 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears.
18.
Correct. D'Angelo Williams, Carolina Panthers.
34.
Correct. Jamison Williams, Detroit Lions.
12.
Incorrect. Kyron Williams, Los Angeles Rams.
42.
Incorrect. Jamison Williams, Detroit Lions.
Skip.
Ricky Williams, Miami Dolphins.
34.
Correct. Kyron Williams, Los Angeles Rams.
31.
You got 3. That's a solid number. You got Caleb Williams, got D'Angelo Williams, got Ricky Williams. Jamison Williams is number 9 with the Lions. Kyron Williams is number 23 with the Rams. So no perfect score, but you did enough to get the W. Congratulations, you're the winner.
Awesome.
There you go. You get the Sharkies gift card. All you have to do is stay on the line and give Dennis some info to make sure you get your gift card.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
You're very welcome. That was solid. I was worried that was going to be a slower day, but it picked up at the end. We got 3 is a solid winner on a Monday. I want better tomorrow, everybody, just letting you know. Expectations are high, but that's solid. By the way, speaking of expectations, you can expect a whole bunch of great content here on 99.9 The Fan tonight. Panther Talk will start up right at the top of the next hour. So 6 o'clock, Autopsy along with Dave Canales and the squad. You can autopsy that Cowboys loss with the Panthers. Wolfpack Weekly, then featuring Kevin Keats, head coach of NC State men's basketball, will follow Panther Talk. And then following that, Monday Night Football, I believe we have the Falcons and Raiders game right here on 99.9 The Fan. So there is a ton of sports coming your way here on 99.9 today. And I encourage you all to check it out. Just keep it tuned right here. You're already here. Save the energy. Don't change the dial. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, Bryce Young had 4 turnovers for the Panthers. How much does that change your good vibes that Bryce Young was building? Much? At all? Too much? Stick around. That's coming up next right here on The Drive.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Way back in the mid to late 80s, rates were all over the map, much as they are today. And what bothered me the most was seeing homeowners constantly chasing lower rates by paying upwards of $15,000 in closing costs each time. There had to be a better way, considering no one was keeping their new loan long enough to truly benefit. So it was during that time that Miller Lending discovered a way to offer a true no closing cost loan. With nothing charged or rolled in, customers were now able to realize immediate savings, as even a drop of 0.5% could save them thousands of dollars over the life of a new loan. Imagine eliminating the need for timing as you simply close on today's rates and refinance as soon as something better comes along. Fact is, Miller Lending hates closing costs. So before you throw away thousands of dollars chasing a rate you may not like a year from now, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
John Heister is playing Santa with the Wrap Up the Year sales event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Now is the time to give yourself a great big present of $20,000 off with dealer discount and incentives. Ho, ho, ho! Put yourself in the driver's seat of any 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer Series 3 right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. See dealer for all the details. You've been good this year, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Few things to hit before we talk Bryce Young. First, text keyword music, MUSIC. You know how to spell music, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Nelly with Ja Rule, Eve, and Jermaine Dupri at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 13th. If you are of a certain age, those names bring you right back.
That is a heater of a lineup.
Text keyword music to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets. Also, we had some AP All-American news earlier today. Omarion Hampton, running back, UNC. Dennis, you were just saying this in my ear. Is he a first-teamer?
Second team
All-American. That makes sense. Ashton Genty.
Well, there's 3 running backs that made first team, Genty being unanimous.
They didn't even give him one of the top 3 spots?
Let's see. So Genty, first team, unanimous. Cam Scatterboo from Arizona State was the second running back, I should say. So two running backs made first team.
All right.
And then Omarion Hampton was second team.
I think Omarion Hampton was better, but that's a team success thing, so that's fine.
Yeah, makes sense.
We'll move on quickly before I go too far down there because I do want to talk about the Panthers losing to the Cowboys, specifically Bryce Young. This is a good check for Bryce. I'm not sitting here pretending like turning the ball over 4 times is okay, especially for a guy with turnover issues. Right through this point in his career, if I'm not mistaken, he has more turnovers than touchdowns, which that's going to be a red flag. So I am sitting here saying that's a problem, but I'm also sitting here saying we get to see how much he's actually grown since the first week of this football season. Because he had a very, very bad week 1, and then it turned into a very, very bad week 2, and then it turned into a benching. And then after the benching, he came out on the other side and did some good things and had people excited about him. One of the things you're going to have to do as a quarterback is flip that page without having to get benched for a month, right? You're going to have to be able to go from bad game back to good game without a whole performance. So Dave Canales earlier today, jump to this clip, Dennis, talked about Bryce's confidence never wavering during that game despite the turnovers.
His demeanor in response to the challenges and the adversity we faced in the game, for Bryce to continue to play with confidence, to continue to see the coverage, to see the routes develop, throw the ball to number 1. He just stayed consistent that way, and even in coming off to the sideline, talking to the guys. And I felt his confidence. I felt confident to continue to try to, work our way back into that game. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. But he gave me the confidence to feel like, let's just keep rolling, and I feel the same way this week.
Here's the challenge, right? Keeping your confidence in game. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easy. The question is between now and their next game, right? Between the time that game ended against the Cowboys, which could not come soon enough, and them playing Arizona this upcoming Sunday, there's going to be 75 gut punches that Bryce Young has to avoid, right? There's going to be he's walking by a TV that's on ESPN, and someone's going to be talking about how bad he played. And there's going to be watching film, and he's going to have to see the decisions he made and see the things he messed up on. And it's going to be tough. And then there's going to be a joke made by a buddy that's in good nature. But, hey, man, every joke has a little bit of truth. And there's it's just going to be an onslaught until he gets back out there on the field. If he can keep his confidence and play well against Arizona, that shows growth. That shows that this quarterback is different than the one that played really, really poorly in week 1. It's not to say he didn't play really, really poorly against the Cowboys. It's to say he's better equipped to deal with that than the young quarterback early on in the season. Because if this sends him back in the tank, right, if it took a whole program of support, and it took a benching, and it took an easing back in, and it took a couple of close wins, and it took good performances by the defense, and it took good performances from the running game, and it took, we're not naming a starter. Oh, now we will name the starter. And it took this whole pageantry and performance to get you back from the bad stretch of play earlier this year. And if it takes that again this time, that's the problem, right? That's the thing where you're like, maybe we misevaluated. But if he comes back and he picks up where he left off against Philly, or he picked up where he left off against the win against New York or New Orleans, if he picks up there against Arizona, then I'm maybe even a little more confident in him, right? Then I'm maybe even a little more set on he's somebody that deserves next year. Right? We saw Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in a game. Somehow they won the game, but threw 5 interceptions in a game. We've seen Josh Allen, who's playing maybe the best football in the league right now, have massive turnover issues. Like, we've seen good quarterbacks have bad games. The issue is it doesn't put them in the tank, right? It doesn't set them back, doesn't undo all of the good work they did over the previous 7 weeks. So that's the test for Bryce Young now, right? I know everybody was saying how awesome you were, and everybody was saying how now you've earned your way into the 2025 season, and you've done this, and oh, goodness, now they won't have to use their top pick on a quarterback. Yay! Like, everybody was hyped, and then you had a turnover-filled day. And there's 2 ways to handle it. One is go back in the tank. You can even start finger-pointing. The running game wasn't working. Of course, I didn't see the hit to my blind side. You're not supposed to get beat that quickly. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
My blockers were bad.
My blockers were bad. Why didn't Thielen make a better play on the ball? Instead, he got it tipped up and intercepted. Like, you could do that privately or publicly. Or you can own it and say, you know what? I had a real bad game. Didn't make me waver in my belief in myself. The Cowboys had a good day. And now I get to go up to Arizona, who's not playing the best football of their season right now, and have a chance to once again build off of the good games I was stringing together. And by the way, that's also true for Dave Canales.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we sometimes forget he's a rookie coach, and I guarantee you he was on that sideline, head spinning a bit, going, how do I stop this from happening? He can watch film. He can get better. He can figure it out.
By the way, you mentioned turnovers for Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. This season he has scored a total of 11 touchdowns, 8 passing, 3 rushing. He has 9 interceptions this season, and he has also lost 2 fumbles, so 11 turnovers. So 11 touchdowns total, 11 total turnovers. In his career, he has 19 touchdown passes along with 3 rushing, so 22 total touchdowns, 19 total interceptions plus 8 fumbles lost. So you're looking at 27. So yeah, 23 touchdowns. 22 touchdowns
isn't a good ratio. So whatever that ends up being on his career,
it's below 1-to-1.
So it's something he needs to fix. Don't get me wrong. I'm not apologizing. I'm not excusing a 4 turnover day. But I am saying it's almost more important to see him play well next week than it is to not have games like this past Sunday. Right? You're going to have bad games. You want them to be very, very few and far between. You want your bad games not to be horrendous games, but you're going to have games that shake you a little bit, and you have to be better moving forward at responding to them without needing 2 months of rehab.
Yeah, the big thing that concerned me was after that first touchdown. This is something that Canales had said as well. I'm sorry, after the first turnover, I should say. The first turnover, it's like, all right, guys, we were moving the ball just fine. We just didn't finish, take care of the ball. Let's just get back to what we were doing. But for some reason, it just crumbled.
That is one of the hardest things for a coach and a leader to communicate to the offense. Logically, it makes so much sense. Yeah, we made 9 good plays and then 1 bad one. Let's focus on the 9, and it's just your brain is like, yeah, but I made that bad one. Like, it's so hard to do. But it's the ultimate football thing is, right? 12 good plays, you pick up first downs, convert a couple thirds, you're down on the 10-yard line, red zone turnover, and it's like those first 12 plays didn't exist. But the good coaches do kind of walk by and go, hey, you're good, right? Hey, he's going to get that figured out. We know what happened there. It won't happen again. We're good. And it comes across, and that's Dave Canales' challenge.
I used to do that when I was coaching lacrosse. I know we have a minute left here, but when I was coaching lacrosse, maybe if I run a set play or something like that offensively, and we would just miss the shot, or the goalie makes a really good save, I'd just say, hey, look, y'all ran the play perfectly. Just finish it next time. That's it. Like, everything you did was perfectly fine.
Well, yeah, or a drop. It's like, hey, we got our best wide receiver, a ball on a deep ball, and he dropped it. He's not going to drop 10 of those in his entire life. Like, just keep doing it. But it's harder to get your mind to actually wrap around that kind of idea. Panther Talk is coming up next here on 99.9 The Fan. You'll hear a lot more about what we just mentioned. Bryce Young will be talked about. Wolfpack Weekly with Kevin Keats to follow, and then Monday Night Football, Falcons Raiders, even later on here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back tomorrow to break it down, everything that happens tonight and more. A lot of action tomorrow night, actually. So that'll be on The Drive tomorrow at 3. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Weeknight, everybody. See ya.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Atlanta and Las Vegas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity.